You ready for What the Heck Sports? With your host, Stephen Heck.
Introducing my team, straight from the cracks in the cement, and can carry twice his weight on his back, my guy, NT.
If it's got a scoreboard, you know we talking about it. What the heck? This is all on stand together.
And this is my other team member. What's your name today, Eddie?
Welcome to What the Heck Sports, where we break it all down. Man, listen, y'all really thought that trade made sense.
Ship the bank. What the heck?
I don't know if my headphones or whatever's working. Listen. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me? I can't hear y'all. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna keep talking till I figure out the situation. As long as y'all can hear me, I'm cool. Thank you. Good morning. You are already jumping in. Thank you. Appreciate you. What up? What's going on? Listen, my Michigan people. Like, stop it. I don't even care. I just don't care, yo. Like, I don't care what happens today. I honestly don't. Today is not a day. Today's a day of celebration, and it's my celebration. It's my celebration. And it's my celebration for so many ways. Hey, the bracket, what a comeback, guys. What a comeback. Holy shit. What a comeback. I was down in the standings. They was kicking my ass. Body blow. And now look what happened. Not only did I win our first official March Madness bracket, my team's in the championship. What y'all want to do with this? What a ass whooping we put on them Wildcats. What an ass whooping. This is what I'm talking about. We're in the fucking building. Oh my gosh, I'm so hyped today. I don't even give a goddamn about nothing else out on this motherfucker. Woo, boy. I don't even care. We're gonna start.
Arizona, who?
Hey, I don't mean not to be petty, but you in Arizona ain't ready. Legs loose like spaghetti.
Arizona, who?
Let's go, Michigan. Arizona, who? Arizona, who? Let's go, Michigan. Arizona, who? Arizona, who? We are taking it to the top, and y'all can't stop. Hey.
Arizona, who?
Let's go. Welcome to the stage, fellas. How y'all feeling this morning? Is anybody okay?
What do you do, Heck? What do you do, Heck?
Good morning. Everybody's all right? Everybody feeling all right?
Shout out to Mr. Savage, our executive producer in the background, to the audience for tuning in as always.
No. Don't start a shout out to me.
Chill. Let's delve into the
Shout out to
topics.
Michigan.
First off,
Go.
that's not the intro. Who authorized that?
They out here changing intros and stuff without consensus.
Yeah, man. That's not the way we do things here. We didn't vote on that.
No, we had the intro already. That was the other. That's the other bullshit.
But shout out to Michigan. You know what I mean? Like, yo, congrats. It's the tournament, it's the madness. But as a Duke fan, I told y'all, but I said this. You know what I mean? I said this. You know, you was rocking with it anyway, of course. But I told you, I was like, yo, Michigan is tough, man. That team is tough. They look hungry. And when you see the play like that, and the way they're winning, it's a difference, man. It's a difference.
Whoa.
And I don't see UConn being much of a test either. I honestly don't see it being much of a test. I think they're gonna beat UConn by at least 15.
Ooh. Listen, we talking about somebody who's been there 3 out of the past 4 seasons. Like this, they going for number 3, dog. They hungry too. They hungry. I can't look over them right now, you know, but I'm just in my glory right now. So this is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And then I got Mr. Yaxelborg's whatever he is today, whoever I don't know what goes on every day with this guy. It's insane work. I don't even know Yaxel Lundenberg's what is that? You know, I can't see.
Orthopedics. We're gonna be checking his ankles today and his spring MCL. Yeah. So, hey man, before I start, shout out to the audience for tuning in. Without y'all, this couldn't be possible. And I hope you had a blessed weekend, Mr. Heck, Mr. Savage. Happy Easter to everybody. Hey, the Michigan Wolverines are the first team in the NCAA tournament history with 5 straight games with more than 90 points. If they beat the Yukon Huskies or rather score 90 points, they will be the first team that they score more than 90 points in all games played in the NCAA tournament. This team is going on a historic run. I say in a couple of our previous shows ago that man by man, the Michigan Wolverines are the most talented team in the nation. When the great Dominican Hope Jackson Lenderborg went out, that team became even better. It's wild. Mara stepped his game up. Everybody was just chipping in. And one of the main reasons why I picked the Arizona Wildcats to win it all and beat them when this hurdle came through them, it was to slow the game down. I mean, Michigan, if you don't slow the game down for them, it's over. And the Yukon Huskies, you can't count out a former champion. They have won 2 out of the last 3 national championships. This team is different. It's built different than previous teams from Danny Hurley. The only way that they can beat the Wolverines at this point is having big games from Mr. Tyrese Reed Jr. and Caravan and Mullins doing his thing, and of course slowing the game down. But other than that, the Wolverines through and through are proving why they have been put up as the national champions on many brackets, because they have the potential to do so.
Is there anything you'd like to say, Ant, besides fucking congratulations?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not at all. I mean, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this. I gave y'all what I was gonna give y'all on the bracket. I gave y'all your shout out weeks ago. I gave you a shout out today. I'm done. Next segment.
I'm going to be. Hey, the whole show, there is no other segments today. The whole show is just Michigan based. No, I'm just playing. But other than that, listen, I got to be in my glory. I got to have my time. I'm going to have my time this whole show. And let me just tell you, every time I wore the same exact outfit every game, and we have won. I will repeat that again so we can win this national championship. Let's go, Michigan Wolverines. Let's not play with us. Don't play with our name. Don't play with our name. Not today. We just had a national championship in football not too long ago, and now we're about to move on to the. Y'all better stop playing with us. What's good, Fluffy? How are you?
What's good, Fluffy? Happy Easter, Fluffy.
Listen, I'm amped today. I've been up late. I ain't stopped. We in the building, and we gonna stay in the building. I don't even know what else is going on. But the simple fact, tomorrow night, we will be champions.
I mean,
That's
that is a
and I'll make sure I send y'all what I'm drinking too.
That,
just because I also won the bracket, the first ever. What the heck?
That is a possibility y'all winning, but at the same time y'all playing Beef and Briskets A&M or Macaroni State College. UConn, like I said previously, has won 2 out of the last 3 national championships. And one of the things that, if you are going to beat the Michigan Wolverines, a team that is so hot, that is playing so tough, even without the great Dominican Hope, they look sharp. Like his absence wasn't even felt. I mean, they even look better. They were losing by 7 when Lenderborg went limping to the locker room, and all of a sudden you go in and you grab a bite, you come back to the TV and they up by 18. Like, what happened? So the only way that the Yukon Huskies can beat the Wolverines is by slowing the game down, playing in the post, containing them. Because if you try, Arizona Wildcats, the Arizona Wildcats yesterday fell in their trap. They tried to play the up-tempo game up and down the court. And what happened to Arizona? They on their way to Cancun to enjoy their spring break. So at the end of the day, I will not count out the Yukon Huskies, but they are going. Danny Hurley's going to have to get tricks out of his bags if he wants to bring the championship to Storrs, Connecticut.
Yo, son, the fuck you got on your head, bro?
We got Marcus Garvey out here. Marcus Garvey Jr.
I grew my hair. I decided to grow my hair.
Mr. And my brother.
Yeah,
the perennial counterpart.
Yeah.
You got the South African version of Manny Ramirez out here. And he's drinking the blueberry Gatorade too. And my man.
I was looking and I was like, yo, this song look a little different. Something that's not a regular hat. I was like,
no.
And the show hasn't even started, guys.
What
the heck, sports? The number one show on YouTube.
And fucking Juice right now.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I'm still I'm still recovering a little bit.
Yo, I am all the way. There's no recovery here. There's zero recovery. I am all the way celebrating till tomorrow. Good luck at work whoever shows up tomorrow at work. Good luck, because I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm done. I'm going to be done. Yes, I'm finished. Holy shit. I was so amped. I don't know if you guys watched the thing with the Fab Five on it, where they were commentating throughout the game. You know what I mean? That was a great for me, knowing the problems and issues that they had coming together, to finally start coming together again, you know, being that they you know, one of the trendsetters of sports, not even just college, of sports in general, from being comfortable in your skin, wearing certain things on the court, you know, because everybody had a standard back in the day. You know, you used to have to wear freaking spandex under your shorts or your balls was going to hang out, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how small the shorts was. You know what I mean? Like,
that had to be weird for Juwan Howard, though.
A little bit, yes, it had to, because he definitely made Michigan look like it wasn't around.
The
like
Fab Five.
He put that team into the dumpster.
Yeah.
And the Fab Five,
I know that had to be weird.
They were trendsetters, culturally, socially, and even political statements, like the way they talk, the way they dress, the way, like, for instance, the shorts. Like back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, players in the NCAA used to wear foot of the loom, tidy whities with one nut hanging out. Chris Webber comes in and he has shorts that go past his knees, like the hairstyle, everything about the Fab Five, them and UNLV, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, they were trendsetters in not only on the court but off of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what they brought to the court, and what they brought to the forefront of college basketball at that time is something that honestly we carried for the longest time. We carried it for the longest time. I mean, it took us to where we are. Without the Fab Five, do we have the comfortability of an Allen Iverson being who he wound up being, and
of course not.
You know, rocking tattoos and just bringing.
And the list goes on. Dennis Rodman, Anthony Mason, all these players that especially.
Appreciate you.
It was different.
Yeah. Happy Easter, Liam. Shout out. Yeah, I mean the Fab Five, they were trendsetters. Culturally.
Well, honestly, if you take it a step back further, though, you know who gave them the confidence to really be that way was the Detroit Pistons.
The Bad Boys
team.
Yep.
That Bad Boys team gave them the confidence to go ahead and do what they did, and be what they became to the sport. Even though, you know, it didn't work out to be they didn't work out to be champions, you know, in regards to the NCAA. Oh wait, none of them are NBA champions either, as a matter of fact. So let's make sure we talk about that. You know, that group, they are trendsetters, but they are not winners. So I mean, shout out to Michigan today.
Shout out to Michigan today. Is this the way to be disrespectful this morning like that?
Listen,
like, why?
Somebody gonna catch some strays for Michigan, man.
This is what we gonna do.
We got it. No. Somebody gonna catch some strays, man.
I mean, it's
like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
Yes, let's do that, and especially the way Ant is talking right now, I might just keep playing that every time he speak. Disrespectful. He came with the hat. I don't know what that is. Then the orthopedic, like my guy's orthopedic is here. Like, I don't know what y'all doing today. Y'all found a way to be real disrespectful to this celebratory moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got y'all though. Don't worry about it. Arizona. Don't worry about it. Duke. Don't worry. You don't worry about a thing.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. Like I said, we gonna laugh and joke, man. But the reality of it is, wasn't nobody gonna beat them boys. Even if Duke would have won, if they'd have beat UConn, we'd have beat Illinois, and I don't think we would have beat Michigan tomorrow either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, overall, the only team on the field that I saw a glimpse that could beat the Michigan Wolverines previous to tournament, it was the Arizona Wildcats. And yesterday, because the way that Tommy Lloyd plays the game is that he plays the chippy, the nitty, the nasty, like the gritty games, slowing down the game for you. And for some reason, it didn't work yesterday with the Wolverines. The Wolverines, once again, are the first team to score more than 90 points in 5 straight games in the tournament. This is a team that, if you close your eyes for too long, they will put 120 on you like nothing. So with the absence of Lenderborg, it was more than evident to me that this team is cohesive. They play concise basketball. They play in the fundamentals. Dusty May is a guy that's why he's so coveted by schools like North Carolina, for instance, that this guy, he knows how to coach. And at the end of the day, going back to Ant, it all comes down to tomorrow night. If the Michigan Wolverines don't win the championship, it'll be the Fab Five all over again, with the amount of talent, with the amount of momentum that this team has, albeit that the Yukon Huskies are winners of two out of the last 3 national championships. So I just want to see a good game. I don't want to see a blowout. I want to see a close one through and through.
I mean, for the purpose of it being my team, and I always like to say I want to see a good game or whatever. Yeah, I'd like to see a good game. But I also, just because the last couple times that we've been in good games in the championship in the past few years, we haven't come out on the other end. Mind you, we are now 8-1 in Final Fours. Like, let's stop playing with us regardless, right? We get there, we just don't finish. You know what I'm saying? From the Trey Burks to the Wagners, you know, what Villanova did to us with Dante DiVincenzo, which I still hate him to this day, which we talked about. It's too much. We have to go in there and we have to whoop ass. On the other end, for the people who not Michigan fans, or don't have a real rooting interest, yes, you want to see a good basketball game, but it starts probably close to 9 o'clock, and we should be able to send y'all to bed early.
I mean, those are strong words right there, Mr. Heck. At the end of the day, like I previously say, I don't know if you noticed, Dusty May was in the stands watching the UConn game yesterday. He was doing a scouting report on them because he had not seen them play live all year long. And one of the things that the UConn Huskies can do to you when it comes to the game of basketball is that they can win those games that seem like out of their hands, out of their reach. When you see guys like Sol Ball coming alive, and Tyrese Reed hasn't had the best tournament, and the past couple of games he has shown glimpses of what is expected from him. The 12-year-old Braylon Mullins doing his thing. I mean, this is a team that if they can, the only way I see the UConn Huskies beating the Wolverines once again, they have to slow the game down. They can't play up to par with the Wolverines, up tempo, up and down, full court, running around, because the Huskies won't win that battle.
But then Arizona tried to do that last night.
Indeed, and that's my main point, that Tommy Lloyd usually shies away from that. And when Tommy Lloyd tried to play that game up and down, Arizona missed 9 straight shots, and Arizona is a team that is predicated on the fundamentals of basketball, playing in the post, taking the sound and safe threes. You know, like Arizona played out of character last night, and it was one of those games that you watched that you were like, who's playing tonight? Like, they were extremely out of character in the way that Tommy Lloyd puts the team on the court.
Were they taken out of character? Well, anyways, let's stick with UConn, right? Let's stick with UConn, but let's stick with the UConn girls. Let's switch modes over there to the girls. Miss Staley over there once again, doing what she do in South Carolina.
Belt the ass.
Exactly. And then took this guy out of all kinds of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of sorts, where he literally started acting like a baby, throwing tantrums. Now all of a sudden she's this, and in the interviews doing, you get beat, my guy. I know y'all ain't been beat all year. What were they, 38-0 to that point?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then you just got your ass beat. You had an off night.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to have your off night, like going back to Michigan, but we got beat in the Big Ten championship. And we also got beat at home. So Wisconsin early, you know, we were ranked number one at that time when we got beat at home. We had an off night. And it happens. And it's good to have your off nights early in the season, so you can correct that moving through the playoffs or, you know, tournament moving forward, so you know how to correct that, and you already have that L, which I say, you know, most of the time New England Patriots played us to go undefeated, the New York Giants, and then we kicked their ass in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So it's good to kind of have that loss, because you know how it feels and you don't want it again, right? So, you know, Gino, you know, I think kind of ruined it for me moving forward with our segment, but I was going to use that. But at the end of the day, I think he was foul for what he did. You have to just take your ass whooping as a man in a woman's sport. But he is one of the all-time greats.
Right. Well, I've never liked Gino.
Yo, I'm done with you. I'm totally done with Pimpolonia.
I've never liked Gino. Like, you know, it goes back with me because of you know, we're gonna talk about it in a little bit. You know, put some respect on the name, Hall of Famer. You know, my homie Shamika Holsclaw went to Tennessee, and you know, UConn was it. Well, you remember when we was in when we played out in Hartford and Hoop It Up, I was like, I can't stand Rebecca Lobo and them. Like, I never really liked them. I never really liked UConn. I respect the handle that they got. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that program is top notch. I mean, the top program over the last 30, 35, 40 years almost. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get there without the hard work, without good recruiting, without good teaching. So, he does a great job with the program, but he's always had that kind of bitch made attitude in regards to being a man in that women's sport over there. He used to go at it with Pat Summitt. Oh, yeah. I don't want to be, we don't have to be friends. We don't have to be cool. It's like, of course.
Didn't she cancel games against them or some stuff like that?
Yeah.
Because of that type of stuff?
Right. Because he has a bad attitude towards the sport. Like, what I hate about it, we could have our rivalries, right? But at the end of the day, it's still called a game. You know what I mean? We could battle on court all day. We could be across the sidelines. But yo, man, after that's over, shake hands and move on. Shake hands and move on. And especially as coaches, you're not even on the court.
Not no more. And I don't think Gino's ever been on the court, but still he was.
Exactly.
And she was a dog.
Right. I think he was when she was playing, I'm not sure. I think he was like an assistant or something like that when she was playing. But at the end of the day, but then I think he was an assistant coach when she was on the Olympics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, she was. They coached together on the Olympics.
No, I'm talking about when Staley was when she was playing with the Olympic team. I think Gino was an assistant.
Yeah, because wasn't that Coach K
with the women? No.
Oh, not with the women. My bad. Yeah, no, with the
women. No.
Who was that coach anyway?
Was it
I thought he was the head coach.
No, matter of fact, he was the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He was the head coach. Gino was the head coach. You coached her. You know what I'm saying? So now to go through that and for what? I have no idea. It was the stupidest thing. But he's apologized for it. I mean, and I'm pretty sure he'll come back next year stronger than ever, ready to go at it again with a great recruiting class. But you got South Carolina who's up and ready to take their part in history, man.
Haven't they been in the past few years? They've been a couple times. Hasn't she won a championship or two as well?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
at the end of the day, what's good, Mike Jones? Happy Easter. At the end of the day, the only time that Gino Auriemma has been on the court was to dry out the sweat when the girls were practicing. At the end of the day, this guy, you need to understand the psychological aspect of the game of basketball. Just like Ant said, when it's all over and done, when the shot clock hits zero, just shake hands and go home. But just abandoning the worst part about it, besides the little argument with Miss Staley, was leaving the team behind. It was a bad look. You ride and die together, and going into the locker room and leaving those girls on the bench. It wasn't a good look for a team that says that they are or rather a school that says that it's the basketball capital of the world, UConn, Storrs, Connecticut. It's not a good example for all those people that are watching. Any given team can lose, like we always say in football, any given Sunday. The South Carolina Gamecocks are a phenomenal team. Coach Staley is phenomenal. She's up and coming, and the level of playing all sports, we touched on that last week when we were referring to the European players. Everything, there's no more giants anymore. Like, anybody can beat you. Anybody can come out of nowhere, like, be it international, be it in the college level, be in the pros. 15, 20 years ago, the Chiefs were perennial playoff hunters and everything, but nobody thought that they were going to build a dynasty. So it has come to a point in sports in general, college and professional, that you need to accept if you lose to another good opponent, because basically there's a level playing field at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you got these programs, like college basketball got these programs that are just, you got some who are going to be dominant, and then you got the ones that's coming up that's trying to get to where you are. Know what I mean? Like, Coach Staley said it. She was like, I built my program based on knowing I gotta figure out how to beat UConn or we're not gonna be good. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, I have to go through UConn no matter what. All roads lead to UConn. and women's college. Look like it's and men's basketball too the last couple of years with Coach Hurley, what he's doing over there. So it's crazy, man. But shout out to Dawn Staley. I think she handled it as well as she could have. I think she handled it.
Apologetic. I look like a yellow bus. I got you. Listen, the yellow with the yellow, because I'm already yellow. I'm waiting for the summertime to get my black people tan. So you know what I mean? So I'm just waiting. Don't worry about it. In a couple months, I'm gonna look different, right? So whatever, unapologetic. Right?
Yeah, and also, and to your point, things changes, man. Like back in the 90s, the Tennessee Volunteers with Pat Summitt as the head coach, and Chamique Holdsclaw and all of them, they look invincible. And all of a sudden, the Tennessee Volunteers, although they still have a solid program, they are not the powerhouse that they once were. So at the end of the day, UConn need to, not UConn, but rather Gino needs to understand that things change. The landscape of college basketball in both men and women is changing. We already touched on this topic a couple of weeks ago. How, for instance, when I brought the example of a school like Auburn, when Mr. Charles Barkley in the 80s, and then Auburn was a powerhouse in basketball, albeit that they did not win many championships, but things changed. So, it's just a bad look from Gino, especially going to the locker room and leaving the girls behind on the bench.
And the craziest part is he gonna get some more belt to ass next year, because Juju will be back next year for USC. So listen, you're gonna have to compete with Dawn Staley and then Juju on the other side. So it ain't looking too good next year either. So get ready. Yes. Like Pat Summitt, God bless her, she had to move over for you. You know what I'm saying? She had to battle you, and then when you took over, everybody had to bow out gracefully, shake hands, and keep it moving. Dude, it's gonna happen to you too. You're gonna take your bumps and your losses. Some of these other programs are building themselves up too, and that was just the case. Your team is not gonna be able to make all their shots every game.
It's impossible.
Every game.
Especially when you're playing against a team that's honestly equally as talented. You don't make your shots, you're gonna lose.
And well coached. I mean, you can't take anything away from your opponent. And at the end of the day, it keeps you. We have plenty of examples, and we touched on that when we spoke about the European players and who's the face of the NBA and all of that. How the level of play across all sports is leveling out. Teams, players, or rather programs that we saw before that nobody heard before, they're up and coming. So Gino, it seems to me that he's still stuck in 1988, and he needs to get up to par, or pretty soon we'll be seeing him managing a nursing home in Hartford, Connecticut.
Definitely. And I just want to say to like and subscribe to the show for all the people who tune in. If you haven't, please do. Please hit the button. You know what I mean? And then me and my homegirl.
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get to that business. But anyways. So speaking of Chamique Holdsclaw, I have something that I'd like to address in a certain way, because if I'm not mistaken, I think she might be one of the people entering the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right. So congrats to her. You know what I mean? Big ups to her for she definitely deserves it. She was, back in the day, we talking about Cheryl Swoops and when,
Cynthia
that whole
Cooper.
started, Cynthia Cooper, the
Thompson.
Houston run was crazy. Like, even let's give shout out to the New York Liberty with Weatherspoon. You know what I'm saying? Witherspoon, however you say her damn name. And but I have a problem with a certain individual getting into the Hall of Fame. I have a problem with Amari Stoudemire being in the Hall of Fame. I'm confused. I'm so confused on where are we going with this for people to get in the Hall of Fame now? Like, what do you have to do? So that means at this point, we're putting DeMar DeRozan in the Hall of Fame because they both have the same amount of All-Stars appearances or whatever the situation may be, 6-time All-Stars. That's the criteria that we're going with. I'm sorry, Amar'e Stoudemire won nothing. What has he done for the game of basketball? Like, where are we going where we're just putting whomever in? I'm going to let y'all answer that question. If you want to go first with that. Because I'm upset. So I'm speaking emotionally right now because I don't think he should be there and or a lot of other people. But go ahead. I'm going to let you rock.
Man, this one is I've over his career, a lot of, I was a big Amar'e Stoudemire fan. I mean, a huge Amar'e Stoudemire fan. But Hall of Fame, no. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think, honestly, now I'm starting to look at the NBA Hall of Fame. In all actuality, it's a joke. There's people that are deserving, like as we was just saying, shout out to Meek. She's been deserving. It honestly is a joke that it took this long for her to get in. You know what I'm saying? But she in there and but Amar'e Stoudemire, I mean, what is his Hall of Fame numbers? What did he do? Was he in NBA Finals? Was he? I mean, he may have been All NBA once. I mean, because he went to a few All-Star games. I mean, is that the criteria for being a Hall of Famer now?
Like, where's he rank on any list? Points wise, rebounds wise, assists. Like, what the heck has he done for the game of basketball? Period. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he something that we've never seen before?
Man.
I just don't get it. Nothing taken away from him as a basketball player. I mean, I think he very good basketball player, solid. But Hall of Fame, nah, no. I mean, shout out to him. It ain't his fault. But at the end of the day, I just can't see it. I just don't see
it's not his fault, which is the bad part. So the people that's above him are saying that he's worthy of this, of being in this place.
Right.
That's for the greats. Are we really, really sitting here and saying he's amongst one of the greats? Jackson Lindenborg's orthopedist. I'm gonna need you to answer. What are we doing here when we're talking about Amar'e Stoudemire in the Hall of Fame?
At the end of the day, it comes down to what I've said numerous times. The NBA Hall of Fame, the voters are comprised of a bunch of middle schoolers drinking Capri Sun and eating chicken nuggets at their house, watching SpongeBob. It's a joke. Amar'e Stoudemire, you're talking about a guy that scored 16,000 points in the league, that only had one first team All-NBA, that only had 6 NBA All-Star games. And he ended up playing with the Fujian Sturgeons of the Chinese Basketball Association. He's a guy that, this is a guy that limped out of the NBA. It's just unfathomable what is going on. We spoke about it before, like how in the NFL, for instance, in the NFL Hall of Fame, you see these players going in wheelchairs or going in stretchers from the nursing home to put the yellow jacket on and go back to the nursing home. Like, it's a more strict, it's a more measured approach when electing who's going in. But come on, 16,000 points, 6 All-Star games, Rookie of the Year. I mean, and just one first All-NBA. What are we doing here? It's the same joke. We touched on this topic last week when the question came up about Westbrook, Rondo, and Lillard. How the NBA not only has been watered down, but the procedure of getting the great players into the Hall of Fame is just an absolute joke. It's just a bunch of kids watching cartoons at home and drinking Capri Sun and I don't know. Like it's a joke. I'm without words at this point because Amari Stoudemire, not taking anything away from the man, he was great in those Phoenix Suns team, along Steve Nash and all of them. He was part of my New York Knicks as well, which we all know it was a fiasco. He was a decent player for a certain period, but other than that, he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame or be considered one of the greats ever.
Agreed.
And that's where we're at though. That's where we're at in this. That's where we're at in this generation, where we just throwing people in for what? Like he's putting absolutely nothing, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
like yes, you were a good talent at the time, right? You were a good talent, but you're not. We're not ranking you as like in the top 5 of power forwards or whatever the situation
Nothing.
is. Like,
at this
where
rate,
are you?
At this rate, we're
in the Hall of Fame with that. That's what I'm saying. So now we got to look at DeMar DeRozan and say he's getting in the Hall of Fame.
At this rate, we're gonna end up with Darius Miles, Pete Myers, and Corey Maggette in the Hall of Fame. Everybody's gonna end up getting in. Everybody is the same thing that is going. It's the same thing that is going on in society. All these participation trophies, like kids, they finish in 20th place, they get a medal. The NBA, the National Basketball Association, has had dozens of players that have had a greater impact than Amari Stoudemire that right now are home drinking their coffee, waiting for their next pension paycheck. Amari Stoudemire, although that he was a great player, like I said previously, for a small period, he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. 16,000 points, 1 All-NBA first team, 6 All-Star games. That's not a body of work for someone that pops out and you're like, yes. He wasn't even one of the greatest of his generation, let alone of ever.
And so, that's what we're putting in there.
So what's happening now is they have the Hall of Fame ceremony every year, so they have to find names. And so they have to these guys that, first of all, with social media and the way that the NBA is publicized, right? All you got to do is have a name, have 2 strong seasons, and then at some point you can be a Hall of Famer, right? Because at this point, like, if Amari Stoudemire is a Hall of Famer with no rings, no finals appearances, then Robert Horry is a Hall of Famer with 7 rings and several big shots, and each and every last one of those runs for those 7 rings, right? So I mean,
it's a joke, man.
That's what the Hall of Fame is. The NFL dudes be like, look how long it took Sterling Sharp to get in. One of the best receivers we have ever seen. And his little brother got in before him. The NFL Hall of Fame is what it is. Like, your criteria has to match.
It's a joke. You have players like Shawn Kemp, Chris Webber, Rasheed Wallace, and the biggest of them all, in my opinion, is Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard won the NBA title, 5 times All-NBA first team, 8 times All-Star game, 3 times Defensive Player of the Year. 4 all defensive first team selections, and of course he had the Olympic gold. I mean, Dwight Howard is even more deserving. I will put in a guy like Rasheed Wallace or Chris Webber in the Hall of Fame, even a Shawn Kemp. You have numerous players. You have Tim Hardaway, Chauncey Billups. The list goes on of players that had the impact for a long time. This guy ended up playing with the Fujian Sturgeons once again in the Chinese Basketball Association, averaging like 12 points a game, and his family had to send a plane and get him back from China and tell him it's over, Amari. Like, it's a joke, man. It's a joke, man. The NBA Hall of Fame has become a joke. This is a topic that we have touched numerous times on the show. Look at MLB Hall of Fame. You got guys that play in the 1920s getting in 2034. Like the NFL, the same thing. You have guys going in wheelchairs. You have guys going in their coffin before they are buried to collect their yellow jacket. That's how strict the NFL and MLB and the NHL as well are with their Hall of Fame selections. The NBA, on the other hand, has become a joke. At this point, I'm going to see Pete Myers and I'm going to see Judd Bachelor pretty soon. Will Perdue and Luke Longley getting the Hall of Fame pretty soon.
So is this a stain on the Adam Silvers of the world and how they are running, if they're even actually running it at this point? You know what I mean? Running the NBA and this organization, or whatever you want to call it nowadays, because honestly, it's a joke. Like I said, the rules have changed. Everything has changed, and it's being catered to the generation for money purposes. You know what I mean? And I'm not okay with it, honestly. And I don't even know, like you said, I just don't have words for what's really going on. We grew up different. We grew up with rules, and they were in place, and now they're being altered to cater to people. And that's why I say they're really not that freaking good, if you ask me, because you're not playing within the confines of the rules. You're playing street ball, basically, and acting like you're good. You don't even do what the coach says. You're arguing with the coaches. You're doing nothing. It's positionless basketball, which was created. You could not shoot a three as a big man back in the day. If Luke Longley took a three, he better have got the ball in the corner with 1 second left, and he just got to throw it up. Now, Luke Longleys are allowed to come down and do crossovers and shoot the rock and do whatever he wants to do. Like, there should be even no coaches on the floor, as far as I'm concerned. There should be no referees on the floor, as far as I'm concerned. They should just go. They should just play games to 21, win by 2. Move on to the next.
It's just a joke. Adam Silver is the worst thing that has happened to the NBA, from the product being placed on the court, the marketing aspect of the game, the NBA Hall of Fame selections, the TV rights, everything. Adam Silver has ruined the sport, and the best example is this: a guy with 15,994 points and 6 All-Star games that ended up his career playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv and playing in Jerusalem in Israel and the Fujian Sturgeons in the Chinese Basketball Association, averaging 12 points, does not belong in the Hall of Fame. Amari Stoudemire is a guy that came into the league projected as one of the future stars, and then on the other side you have players like Dwight Howard that would not a Dwight Howard ambassador or advocate, but the guy had, 3 Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-NBA first team, 1 title. His resume speaks for itself. At the end of the day, the NBA is just a reflection of society. People just want participation trophies. They want medals for showing up, and life doesn't work like that. Amari Stoudemire doesn't belong on the Hall of Fame.
So don't JaVale McGee got more titles than Amari Stoudemire?
Right.
I mean, at this rate, next year I'm gonna go see Jay Crowder get inducted.
Well,
if that's the case.
But that goes back too further. You mentioned Dwight Howard. It's just what shows you is this is all a joke. Dwight Howard was not top 75, but Anthony Davis was. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, which is really trash.
And it's also, at the end of the day, it's also hypocrisy, because you take a guy, for instance, like LaMarcus Aldridge, and again, I'm not implying that LaMarcus Aldridge has to go in automatically to the Hall of Fame, but we are talking about a guy that was 7-time NBA All-Star, 2 times NBA All-Second Team, 3 times NBA All-Third Team, rookie team of the NBA. The guy had 20,600 points. He averaged 20 points a game, LaMarcus Aldridge. So if we can't be hypocrites, we can't be contradicting ourselves, and this generation excels on that, on contradicting themselves. They say numbers matter, or the stats matter, but then when it comes down to put it on the table, Amari Stoudemire should not getting in the Hall of Fame over someone like LaMarcus Aldridge, like before than someone like LaMarcus Aldridge, a guy that had 20,000 points and that had a better resume overall than this guy that ended up playing mopping floors with the Fujian Sturgeons.
LaMarcus Aldridge, he'll get in. I'm not sure when.
Eventually, but that's the point that we always make, and we touched on this last week when we were talking about Lillard and Westbrook and Rondo. Just because we say a player doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame today, it just means that maybe down the road in another scenario they will get in. That's the beauty of the NFL. For instance, when you see a guy like a good wide receiver in the 80s, getting in 20, 30 years later because you are like, hey, what he put up those numbers,
That's
like
good, Daniel.
with time, you get a better perspective on a career of a player. So 20 years from now, when you look at Amari Stoudemire, 16,000 points, if anything, it's gonna look worse.
I get it, and it's like I said, it's a sad subject. Like for me, I say we grew up with all of this nonsense. We grew up, like I say, in a structured environment, basically. Now it's just free for all outside. You know what I mean? And I'm just not okay with any old body getting in there. It literally is just any old body at this point. Hall of Fame should be harder to get into. Like you have to actually have accomplishments. It probably should be 15 people in there at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be something that's really, really sacred to a sport. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You're giving people millions and millions of dollars, and you're also making millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Due to what these sports have created. You know what I mean? It created stuff like this, what we're doing right now. Like we go outside, we try to emulate people. You know, they are one of our greats, but you can't just take when they're amongst their contemporaries. You weren't the best. You weren't the best. You aren't the best. So you can't get into something like that. Like you just can't. It has to be special, and it's no longer special.
The BBWAA, which stands for the Baseball Writers Association of America, they have a simple criteria to decide if someone belongs in the Hall of Fame. Number one is, were you one of the greatest of your era? Number two, do you dominate the league in your position for 10 years? Can we say that Amari did any of those? Was he one of the greatest from 2005 to 2015? No, he wasn't. I mean, he was a guy that came into the league. Yes, Philly, happy Easter, shout out. He says Sean Kemp and Dwight Howard. Yes, I brought Dwight Howard. But like I said, the Baseball Writers of America, they have that criteria. Were you one of the best of your era? Was Amari one of the best of his era? No. Did he dominate his position for 10 years? No. He had that good run for a few years with the Phoenix Suns, and then he came to our New York Knicks, and we had the big fiasco, which we still paying taxes for that contract that we gave him, and we never got it back. So at the end of the day, Amari Stoudemire, we can go on and on looking at all the angles, all the perspectives, and Amari Stoudemire doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
And that's just the double truth, Ruth. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna sugarcoat it here, like especially not here on What the Heck Sports. Like there's no reason for Amari Stoudemire and or others to be in the Hall of Fame. Sorry, I know I didn't play. I'm just an outside guy or whatever, but we're talking about numbers.
Don't get Pat Beverly.
Huh?
Don't get Pat Beverly.
Like,
don't get Pat Beverly. Don't listen. We're gonna be there. Let's take a quick break just to let you people know we watch the sport like you all, so we're gonna talk about the sports. That's it. Don't tell me because I'm not top 75. I'm not this. I'm not. I'm gonna talk about what I see. So, and that's what we all gonna do. We're gonna talk about what we see.
And everything is proven. Like it's on record, right? It's on record who you are. Right, we just had a Kevin Durant pass to Michael Jordan, right? That's still an accomplishment in itself, right? Due to his longevity in the sport and him being a great scorer as he is, he was able to accomplish that. Like going back to it, like you said, LaMarcus Aldridge, more points than Amari Stoudemire. When is his turn then? What are we doing here? I'm just
the question is to the middle schoolers drinking the Capri Sun, eating their chicken nuggets, the voters in the NBA Hall of Fame. What is the criteria? What are we basing on? Like style? Did they like on his dressing style? Yes, Amari Stoudemire was one of the most fashionable players in the history of the NBA. Yes, he could dress, but could he play? Like, what is the criteria that they are utilizing to get these players into the Hall of Fame? When you have guys like Sean
That's
Kemp,
the criteria that they're utilizing.
You know
nah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
man.
Sean Kemp, Tom Chambers, Sidney Moncrief, Rasheed Wallace, Chris Webber, bro, I can name you 100 players at this moment right now that deserve to win the Hall of Fame, and not Amari Stoudemire. And I don't know what's going on with Magic Johnson's son, daughter, whatever. that guy, girl, whatever you want to call it, needs to get it together.
Yeah, that's the Dwight Howard lady.
You know?
Magic Johnson.
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
For this, man.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Crazy.
It's crazy. I wanna kind of switch gears into the NFL real quick. They are now talking about adding an extra week. An extra week to the schedule. Like, so what does that mean going forward? If they're gonna do it, you know they're gonna do it. The NFL is they want to have more games overseas, right? They want to do this. So what are you doing to the players at this point? Like, that's my problem. What are we doing to the players at this point? Like, you're gonna have to add an extra bye week in there, probably. Like, they are putting their bodies on the line. This is not baseball. This is not basketball. They are getting hit hard, 300-pound linemen. They're just trying to take your head off within the rules of the game, because, you know, you can't do what you used to do back in the day with the Jack Tatums and the Steve Atwaters and the Brian Dawkins and all of those guys who used to hit you, Ronnie Lott, those guys that will
Troy Polamalu,
their finger in the middle of a game, right? Stupid stuff like that, and be like, yo, let's go. It's not like that anymore. But just still having a real physical game where somebody can get hurt, life-ending, career-ending hits all day long, and you want to give them 18 games, and what are you going to take another preseason game away? I mean, I don't know. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on, we're adding the extra game to the NFL. We probably like it, but then we're gonna have the Super Bowl in damn near March at this point. But I'll let y'all deal with that.
At the end of the day, the NFL, when it was constituted, it wasn't incorporated as a sports league. It was incorporated as an entertainment business, similar to what the WWE is. At the end of the day, they are there to make money. When you have old heads like Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft thinking about their pockets beyond the health of the players, that's the point that we have come to. I don't right now. I think there's going to be a clash between the union and the NFL owners, because adding an extra game automatically will have to add another bye week, and it'll mean a more extended strenuous period for the players' bodies. If we lose that extra preseason game, I'm not a big fan of preseason. I've always said that we only need 2 preseason games and 2 extra week of training camps and scrimmages, and those inter teams, similar to what the Green Bay Packers did with the New York Jets last year. 2 different teams holding practices together, learning defenses playing against other offenses. I'm more of a fan of that than an extra game. The only day of the week that this year we won't have an NFL game is on a Tuesday. We're gonna have games on Sunday, on Monday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday. Like the NFL, pretty soon we're gonna be having NFL games at 9:00 on a Tuesday morning while you at work. So it all comes down to greed. It all comes down to trying to, with their aspiration of expanding the game globally and this, that, the other. I don't want the owners to tarnish what we already have. 17 games is fine. The way that it's set up is okay. We don't need to push another week and then another extra bye week. We're gonna end up having the Super Bowl in Mother's Day at this point.
Next. And
yeah, no, my bad. I had to. Well, first off, I didn't like it when we went to the 17th week. When the NFL went to the 17th week, I didn't like it. You're adding more strain onto these players. you're giving them an extra week to now get hurt. I mean, we've had every week we see there's an ACL injury. Somebody's getting hurt. Somebody's out for the season, and you're going to add more of a chance to that. And for what? Like you said, now they're adding more games to the weeks, right? We getting Monday, Thursdays. You know, what are we doing here? So they're gonna have to add an extra bye week, which is just now you're stretching out, but you're stretching out the season, but you're thinning out the product. Leave it where it is. It's fine. The NFL is perfectly fine. It was fine with 16 weeks.
And the union is going to be a big clash. The union doesn't want to keep expanding the games. At this point, we're going to have the NFL for 10 months out of the year if they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I don't know. I don't like the idea. I don't like an extra game. I don't like all these daily games. I'm old school when it comes to that. I want Sunday and Monday night game, and that's it. Even the Thursday night game is there's a lot of contradiction. The ratings are not what the NFL wants them to be. Not a lot of people are sitting down on a Thursday night to watch the NFL game. So I don't see the need, the reason, other than the monetary one, the financial aspect, to extend the season to an extra game.
It's all about money, and we already know this. So wherever the money goes, that's where the sport is going to go, right? They're trying to grow it globally, and this is what they want, right? There's a reason we're going to have Fernando Mendoza in a Raiders uniform, and they're also going to get a basketball team, right? So Vegas is about to have all the sports in their town now because it's all about money. Because they're going to win the bid when the NBA expands, because they're doing that as well.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be Vegas. Honestly, it's a travesty. They should have been had a team a long time ago, when there was the only betting city that we had for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Where you could gamble legally.
The only reason why they didn't have it before is because there was conflict of interest. Since a lot of the people that were trying to get involved were casino owners or people involved in the betting industry. So now that we have more relaxed betting laws, and that you go now, you can bet on your digital refrigerator. Everywhere is an app for betting, for sports betting nowadays. Now is when Vegas is gaining traction. Now you see that the Oakland Athletics move over there from the hood slums of Oakland to Las Vegas, albeit that there were different groups, including one with Magic Johnson involved, trying to keep the Athletics in California, move them to Sacramento, but they decided to go to Las Vegas because of the monetary reasons. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to the NFL, when you have guys like Jerry Jones and his decrepit ass drinking his Johnny Walker Blue Label, all he wants is more money. It's not about putting a better product for us fans on the field. It's not about productivity of players on the field. It's not about a more refined game, every week on TV. No, it's add another game and let's earn more money. That means more rights, more attention to the NFL. And when you have people like Netflix getting involved now with streaming the games, they see an opportunity to make more money with an extra game.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is now we're going to have the Super Bowl and the NBA All-Star game in the same weekend.
Basically, if that happens, that's what we basically going with this. You know what I mean? So and obviously NFL Super Bowl is going to take precedence over the NBA All-Star weekend.
Anyway,
the NBA All-Star weekend has become a joke as well. It's trash.
Right.
I just wish they would bring back the mascot dunk contest so the NBA stay in school jam. Like, give the kids something to come see as well, involve them more and having accomplishments. Because I think what happened with the All-Star weekend was with the NBA school, stay in school jam, it was people who had perfect attendance got invited to that joint for free. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it went. And they got to see the dunk contest, the celebrity games. They got to watch all of that for free on that day. Now, obviously, they had to sell seats and stuff like that. But they were invited to do all of that early in the morning. We had it at between 11 and 12 o'clock on a Saturday. You know what I mean? And everything, the festivities started. And it was fun for everybody. Now they just don't care. It's literally about the dollar. They don't care about us. And they don't care about the product that they're trying to put on the field, which is the person, which is the fucking human being who is driving your sport with their talent. And you don't care about them. Adding an extra game is freaking ludicrous at this point, in my opinion. Of course, we would like to see it as fans because we get more football, which is the better sport that I like to watch overall. Right. But I don't agree with putting their bodies through that for another week, cutting out another preseason game, which they don't play anybody anyway. So
right, I'm about to say what they're going to do: shorten up training camp, and they need training camp. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's happening. These players, you're shortening up the training camp, but they need training camp to get their bodies right. Because when they work out in the off season, they work out, but it's not being pushed to the capacity of what training camp does. That's what training camp is there for, to help you develop your body to get ready for the season. And you're going to add a week and you're going to shorten up something else that they really need, and it's not going to work. You're going to wind up with more hurt players.
And without the preseason, you wouldn't have players like Victor Cruz or Wayne Krebet coming into the spotlight. That's where you find that's how teams structure their rosters. So taking away, which I'm a proponent of taking away an extra preseason game, but not to add another game in the regular season, but rather have an extra week of training camp, a joint training camp or joint practices, like, for instance, the New York Jets did it last year with the Green Bay Packers, and the Cowboys have done it with other teams as well, where you can see other teams' offenses and defenses and kind of like get a look and kind of like ease your players into the season, then going to a couple of preseason games and then just go and play your 17 regular season games. But at the end of the day, for those that are old enough, the NFL back in the day only used to have Sunday games and Monday night game, and then in December, Saturday games. Throughout the week, you will get your ACC games on Thursdays. That you will get your Virginia against Duke, or Virginia, Miami, Virginia Tech, etc. And then on Tuesdays, you'll have games like Miami of Ohio with Ben Roethlisberger, and Toledo and Buffalo, all those Macaroni State colleges, schools, etc. So we survive without having football 6 days a week. So I don't see the need. Football is my favorite sport, but at the same time, you don't want to push down like so harsh on the fans, that you have to have so much, because at the end of the day, what he's doing is diluting the product. We're gonna end up watering down, because what makes football beautiful is that you only get to see it once a week. It's only 16, 17 games, and that's it.
Yep.
Right, that's the part. Honestly, okay, bro. No, I was gonna add to that, where it's like that's the most beautiful part. Like he was just saying about football, is you have to literally wait and get excited for it all week. Where it's honestly, that's the day where on Sundays, shoot, man, you say, listen, man, you gotta everybody get the hell out. If you ain't watching football, get the hell out. Yeah. You have a whole spread. You have your wings. You have your chips. You have your beer. You have your drinks. You have a few friends over, whatever, on a Sunday to watch football. You know what I'm saying? That's what's so great about it, the anticipation, the buildup. So now, like you said, now we got all these days during the week where they're going to start adding games. It's going to be like the NBA. Like
baseball has 162 games. The only person on the planet that watches 162 games of baseball is Uncle Rico watching the Boston Red Sox, drinking his Pabst Blue Ribbon every night. So at the end of the day, nobody's watching 162 games. That's too much. You miss one baseball game, you're like, okay, just one game. So the NFL is going to come down to a point. When you think about it, when we had the 16-game season, 4 games was a quarter of the season. So basically, you miss 4 games, you miss a quarter of the season. If we keep expanding the games, we're going to end up with, 30 games now? Are we going to have play the game of football for 8 months now? Like, we need, like I know the union won't allow it. The union is going to be harsh about it, because you are putting, just like Mr. Heck said, you're putting the players, which is the asset of the league. It's the capital of the league. The capital of the league is not the commercials. It's not the ads. It's not Jerry Jones or Robert Kraft. It's the players. And if you can't protect your players, then you have a fundamental problem.
Yes, sir. So let's what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break. Whether you need to pee, fart, fuck, whatever you need to do that in 2 minutes and 7 seconds. We'll be back and we'll keep this discussion rolling.
Now it's time for the What the Heck halftime show.
Hey, drumline, lock in. We don't walk in, we slide in. We don't talk loud, we vibed in. What the heck? 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 We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, step with a bounce, hit a whole band clean. Gold on the brass, and you know we gleam. Kick, drum, knock, make the whole field shake. Every move sharp. Yeah, we don't break. Horns hit high, then we drop down low. Crowd get hype when the snare rolls slow. From the stands to the field, feel the energy build. It's that real halftime show. No chill. Stop, cut. Stop, cut. Drumline, talk to 'em. Boom, boom. Dancers hit. Hey. Crowd scream. Hey, hey. What the heck? Hey, hey. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? Hey, hey. What the heck? We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Yeah. Band too cold, yeah, we run this lane. Break down plays like a post. Game from the field to the mic, yeah, we bring that spark. Turn halftime hype into straight up art. Crowd on 10 when we hit that check. Everybody yell back. What the heck? Sports Talk Live, you know what's next. We the voice of the game, put it to the test. What the heck? 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 We talking sports. Let's go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What the heck? Let's go. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
What the heck?
Yes. So we back from our halftime break, whatever you had to do. Listen. Also, we're gonna keep sticking with the NFL, right? But first, before we get into all of that, you know what I'm happy about?
Arizona, who?
Hey, I don't mean to be petty, but you in Arizona ain't ready. Legs loose like spaghetti.
Who muted me? Why would you mute me? I don't get it. But whatever. Let me tell you what else happened. So I was down in the bracket. Like I was getting my ass kicked on our first official March Madness bracket as a show. What the heck show? Sundays, 10 o'clock. Like and subscribe. Whoever's out there. But I was down. I was out. Fighting, crawling, blah, blah, blah. And my team, the Michigan Wolverines, did me right. And I beat the shit out of both of y'all at the end of the day. Oh, I won.
That's me, baby. That's me. I did that. Me, baby, all day. Can't stop that. Can't stop that.
Can't stop that. Your hat can't stop it. The orthopedic can't stop it. You can't stop that. I gotta get it out. I gotta have y'all gotta eat this for the rest of the show. You're gonna have to eat this after Monday too. Next week, you're gonna have to eat it again. Gonna have to eat it, dog. Because you want to know why? Because it's our first annual official bracket, and hopefully there's way more to come. and maybe y'all will get a win. Because next time I won't be so reckless in the earlier rounds talking about this person and that, the Cinderellas of the world. So I'm not going to be as reckless, but my team did that. Sorry, Duke, and sorry, Arizona. But I want my bottles. Winner, chicken dinner.
What are you getting? The 100 proof?
No, I'm not getting 100 proof. I'm going to show y'all I'm going to show y'all real quick. What the hell?
Wow, he went to the liquor store to take a picture or something?
Yeah, so this is what I want. This is what I want. Exactly what I want right here. Don't cost much. But I want to battle with people. Thank you.
Wait, I can't
Please.
see.
And thank you.
Saint Remy VSOP.
Yep. You can Uber Eats it or whatever.
I got you.
Man, listen. No. I'll send you the money and you go get your own goddamn bottle. I ain't you'll be getting none.
Why? You want me and I to help you open up the bottle too? I mean, just because the Michigan Wolverines are going to the national championships doesn't mean that me and I have to be here humiliated. The Yukon Huskies tomorrow. You know what?
No, I kind of knew this was coming. That's why I just sat silent. I'm gonna let him have his day. I mean,
listen.
You just I don't know how long y'all have known each other. I've been going through this for 47 years. So I knew this was coming this morning. Only thing that I'm really upset about it is that I'm hungover while it's happening, so it feels worse. It feels worse. I should have had a clear head coming into the day, but it's okay. It's all right. Let them have it. Let them have it.
I listen. I was up all night. I tell you, I was. Woo, boy, I was fired up. I know we was on the phone till like goddamn 2:00.
Yeah, but to my defense, also, I actually said that this was gonna happen. So
you did. You said it, but it feels so good when it's me. And you know, Yaxel Boys, orthopedists, whatever you are today.
Right.
Jackson Linderborg.
It feels great. It feels better is because you don't understand the when I looked at the standings in our bracket and I'm sitting there and I'm fighting and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm preparing myself like I got the fun side for you guys, like one of yous, and to be able to come back because of these guys and win this goddamn first annual March Madness bracket on What the Heck Sports Show, Sundays 10 o'clock. Like and subscribe if you're watching. It just feels so good to be the first, right? We're the first, baby. Like y'all gotta deal with this. Y'all gotta deal with it.
All I want tomorrow is a close game. Ain't nobody trying to watch no blowout.
Who want a close game? I don't want a close game.
No, honestly, I would like a blowout so I could go to sleep.
That's exactly what
I want y'all in bed at halftime. Like
get this shit over with.
Get it over with.
That's exactly the thing that I'm trying to avoid, man. I ain't trying to turn the TV off and turn into the book.
Right.
Start looking for facts and shit.
Right.
Hater, Duke hater in the building.
Let me go ahead and do my research.
And to here on Apologetic Manhood say who cares, Steve. But listen, we were talking about the Fab Five, but if the Michigan Wolverines do not win tomorrow, it's not going to be as impacting as the Fab Five losing that time with the infamous Chris Webber timeout. But it'll be all over again. Other than the championship won by Coach Harbaugh, Michigan has many times come short, and this will be another one to the list. So
Why you gotta be disrespectful again? Why you gotta bring up the timeout?
You know, my name is Mr. Facts, and it's facts over feelings here in What the Heck.
Why you gotta bring up the timeout?
And like and subscribe. But at the same time, and Ann is going to agree with me. If y'all don't win tomorrow, it'll be another one to the list, because if UConn doesn't win tomorrow, everybody will forget it by Tuesday. They have won 2 out of the last 3 national championships, and nobody expected them to be here this far. A lot of people had them losing in the Elite 8 or the Sweet 16. Also, they had a good seeding. They lost the Big East tournament, and they ended up being a 2 when they should have been a 5. So at the end of the day, the Michigan Wolverines were expected to be here, so they have more pressure to win it all. If they don't
have no pressure, there's no such thing.
If they don't win it all, it'll be another blemish to the what ifs in the Wolverines resume. It's facts.
Whatever, but you know what they did do
the audience.
You know what they did do. You know what I did do
to the audience.
You know what I did do. You know what I did do. You know what I did do. Yaxel Lundenborg's Orthopedics. You know what I did do. I won the bracket.
Me, baby. That's me. I did that. Me, baby, all day. Can't stop that. Can't stop that.
Let's also not forget something too, man, while we're on it. You know, Michigan got the oldest basketball team in college basketball history. Your players are old, bro.
That's the transfer portal. Don't blame me. Blame them people again.
Some of your players
and
Lindenborg
being able to transfer.
You ain't see when Lindenborg when he got hurt and they showed a picture of his grandson in the crowd.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't see that? His grandson was crying like, "Grandpa, get up." See, you got these OG-ass players.
Jackson Lindenborg is Dominican, so Dominicans have the tendency of altering their age. So we might have another case of Daniel Monte. At the end of the day, Jackson Lindenborg might be 42 years old with a family.
They turn their 78. They scribble over the 7, put an 8.
Yeah, so
and from 78 to 88.
So for anybody else who's out there watching or whatever, like before we get into our next topic, which is going to be back to the NFL with the nonsense, I just had to interrupt y'all with more Michigan bullshit because that's what this is today, moving into tomorrow. Who has more pressure on them to win? Is it Michigan or is it UConn? And for all our UConn fans out there, how do you feel being in the national championship, the past 3 out of 4 years? And for anybody who, Michigan, I see no pressure. I don't care. We good. We going to win. There's nothing to go there. But anyways, who has more pressure?
Say it in the comments to the audience, to everyone watching. Say it in the comments. Who you think has more pressure? Is it the Michigan Wolverines or the UConn Huskies? In my perspective, heck, once again, like I said, I think the Wolverines, they have to win it. The UConn Huskies were not expected to be here, and they do not hold the upper hand, albeit that they have been champions in the past couple of years. I still think the Wolverines hold the upper hand, but I do believe that Michigan, they are more, I wouldn't say pressure, but rather they are more required to win it all. At the end of the day, if UConn loses on Tuesday, nobody will remember it. If the Wolverines lose, then it'll be another what-if season for the University of Michigan. And with Dusty May, there's good vacants out there. There's good vacants out there in college. So Dusty May is a great head coach, and it will be really tough to see him.
Michigan. Okay.
And it's tough to see Dusty May leave the University of Michigan. But Michigan has the upper hand. Michigan is the favorite. This is a team that looks tough, looks unbeatable at this point, and they are the one required to win. And I think that they probably will beat the UConn Huskies.
Okay.
Oh man, that's a good question. I got a bit of a different take. I don't think the pressure is on Michigan as much as people think. I think it's more pressure on UConn because of the seeding that they got that wasn't deserving. You got a number 2 seed. Now let's see what you're gonna do with it. You made it to the national championship, so the pressure's on to win it. Michigan was in the top 3 pretty much all year, right? So I don't think there's much pressure at all, especially when they come from just barely being in a discussion at all with Juwan Howard last year. So
no discussion,
right? They're playing with house money right now, Michigan. And then 2, truth be told, sorry, brother, enjoy it because it'll be a while before you get back. These older players that y'all getting ready to lose,
whoa,
and then the younger ones that's gonna leave. You know, we got to see what the recruiting is gonna look like for Mr. May over there.
Mm-hmm. And they're trying to get him to coach in North Carolina. Like they're trying to recruit him already.
Exactly.
The University of North Carolina and the athletic director Bubba Cunningham, Caesar show every Sunday. Shout out to Bubba in Chapel Hill. You remember when I said Hubert Davis is going to be the manager in your local Walgreens pretty soon. The next day he was fired. The University of North Carolina has not hired any head coach. Their top two options were Tommy Lloyd declined. He went back to the Wildcats for 5 years, and Mr. Dusty May.
So when you're saying that, I don't want to mean to cut you off, but even though Hubert Davis got fired, but was that a correct firing? Doing that, he just won them a national championship not too long ago.
It was the correct firing, but I'll get to that point before. Like I was saying, Dusty May is the number 1 target of the University of North Carolina, and they will give anything that Dusty May wants to become the head coach of the Tar Heels. On the other hand, Hubert Davis did win, but he was not heading the program. When they sat down with him that Monday after the loss to VCU, when they sat down with him and they asked him, what is the direction that you are going to give our program? Bubba Cunningham and the upper higher ups at the University of North Carolina didn't like what they hear from him. So when you bring in a guy like Dusty May, I'm not saying Dusty May is going to leave the University of Michigan, but you never know. Tommy Lloyd said no. Tommy Lloyd said no, but what is Dusty May going to say? That's why they have not hired anyone, because their number 1 option is the head coach for the Michigan Wolverines. So let's enjoy the ride while it lasts, because just like Ken said, there might be a lot of changes sooner than what we think.
I don't know what UNC going to do.
So all I'm saying is we are gonna enjoy the ride. We're going to enjoy our national championship win tomorrow, and that's that. So, anyways, I want to switch gears back to the NFL, but before we do that, we have a segment called "What the Heck," and it's our what the heck moments of the week, the year, whatever it is, just something, that went crazy with the heck moment of sports. I don't know if you guys have one. Mine has already been discussed, but we can bring it up again. But if you have another one,
what was yours?
Let me know.
What the?
Well, do you have a what the heck moment for the week for whatever? Do you have a what the heck moment? Mine was Gino Auriemma spazzing out and being a bitch.
So this week, President Trump signed the executive order designed to save college sports from all this craziness, which we have discussed before, all the transfers and the portal and the NIL and this, that, the other. And it's going to be effect in August 1st. And some of the stipulations are that athletes can only transfer schools one time before they graduate without having to sit out a season. So basically, we won't see as many transfers as before. So under this new executive order signed by President Trump, going in effect on August 1st, a player like Lenderborg will not be able to be playing for Michigan right now. And also, federal funding to schools will be stripped to schools that do not comply with this. So basically, let's hypothetically say the University of Kentucky has a guy that transferred 3 times before the 5-year span, then they will stop getting the funds from the federal government. Now, the crazy thing is that there's this guy called Chandler Morris. Chandler Morris is a Virginia quarterback. He's 26 years old, and he's going to
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Follow me on this. So Chandler Morris is going to sue the NCAA because he's trying to play for a 7th year. I say it once again. On the same week that President Trump signs the executive order that starting August 1st, I mean, the main reason why President Trump signed the order is to bring some sort of sanity, which we, and especially and Heck as well, have touched on this topic if our audience has seen our previous shows of the craziness that's going on in college. So Chandler Morris is suing the NCAA because he wants to play for a 7th year. The guy is 26 years old, and he has already played for Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, TCU, North Texas, and Virginia. I mean, the irony that President Trump signs the order August 1st, you can transfer more than 2 times in a 5-year span. We have this kid going into the court in Charlottesville, Virginia, going to sue the NCAA, which I'm pretty sure he will lose. I mean, he's trying to play for a 7th year, guys. What is he gonna be, a doctor or something? 7 years.
Off the weed.
So it's just the craziness. How on one hand you have the order going into effect, and on the other hand you have Chandler Morris trying to play for his 7th eligible year, the quarterback for the Virginia Cavaliers. It's just a what the heck is going on. So I don't think it'll succeed, and I'll think he'll have to get off school and go pro or go play in the XFL or the Canadian Football League.
What the heck?
Yeah, that my what the heck is actually based on gameplay. We are not supposed to be sitting here talking about no goddamn UConn today. We're supposed to be talking about Duke.
Foul on the damn play, man. Foul on the play.
When, like I have not played at the highest level. I played on a decent level. But my mind of the game is my mind for the game. As a point guard, as a basketball player, period, if you know you can shoot free throws, not even if you know you can shoot free throws, you are up by 2 with 10 seconds left on the clock, and you're in the backcourt, you don't even have to cross half court. You don't have to move. All you got to do is hold the ball and get fouled, go to the line, play the free throw game. What the hell made you pass the basketball? And turn it over. And now we are at home watching your commercials on TV still, but you're not playing. He better not try the one and done leave and go to the NBA, because he's going to get chewed alive. If you couldn't handle the pressure when you're up by 2, what the hell are you passing the basketball for? Dribble the basketball, get fouled, go shoot 2. Now, when Sarr, when he had the ball, I could understand him giving the ball up because he's like a 55% free throw shooter. You don't want to go to the line. That's like, Mr. LeBron James, he's not going to the line. He's going to pass it. But Mr. Boozer, 81% from the free throw line. What are you doing? So that's my what the heck moment. We're not supposed to be talking about UConn at all. We're supposed to be talking about what my bracket would have been, which is which is Duke, Michigan in the finals. That's what we're supposed to be talking about. That's one what the heck moment. There's another subject that I believe we will touch on based on the what the heck. Jaden Ivey.
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
To all my people out there watching, yes, like and subscribe, hit that button, join into us every week, Sunday, 10 a.m. Unless something crazy happens, we're gonna be here. So let's keep that moving. Out of the what the heck moment, Jaden Ivey, you just brought up. What do you think about that situation? My question is to you and Yaxel Lindenborg, orthopedic, whatever. That's just too long to say, my guy. Like every week you got to come with this shit, bro. Why? Why we got to do this every week with you?
Oh no, my guy. That's a red flag on the play.
Thanks to me.
I gotta say that name.
Thanks to me, Jackson is gonna be playing tomorrow.
Yaxel Lindenborg's orthopedist, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Coming out my mouth, especially when I'm hungover and been drinking.
Yeah.
You got me fumbling my shit all day. God dang, dog. But appreciate it though. So speaking of Jaden Ivey, like you just said, like I know exactly where you're going with this, and I'm gonna let you do exactly what you want to do with the question though. Should athletes or celebrities, we'll just throw them in there because they are celebrities, be held to the same standards as somebody like us, regular people? We out here. If I say what he said, I'm not finna catch that. You know what I mean? I'm not finna lose my job for that 9 times out of 10. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to hear, should they be held to the same standards as us? So I'm gonna let you go with what you're saying, and obviously y'all keep it moving.
Well, I mean, of course, everybody should be held to the same standards in that regard, right? I mean, but when you're in a public eye, honestly, I think it should be a point where they should be able to voice their opinions, right? You got the platform. That's what all of this social media and all this stuff is about. Why can't you voice your opinion? Why can't you voice your opinion? What he said in regards to that community, right? It should not have an effect on that man being able to make money and support his family on the basketball court. I just feel like that. Like I'm so tired of that community, man. Like everything about that community. This is why that community gets frowned upon. Because we have to treat you so tenderly, right?
I'm sick of these people. You know, oh!
Yes, befitting. That one is befitting, right? We can't say anything in regards to that. Like that, sexuality has become a lifestyle, and it's bad, man. They just said they didn't want the Atlanta Hawks to have what was that? The like they didn't want to have a Magic City night or something like that, right? Because they was talking about it supports the strip club, right? Every last one of your basketball players that you've ever had in Atlanta Hawks uniform has been to Magic City.
Of course.
Every player in the NBA, when they come to Atlanta, they go to Magic City. You guys don't want to support that because it's bad. It's a blackout. But then that community, you want to support it, and you want everyone to partake in that community. And everybody's not with that. Jaden Ivey, who I'm not sure, I don't know his whole background, but it sounds like he's a Christian, right?
Of course.
From what I understand, he's a Christian.
Yes.
So his principles are different. If he speaks out in regards to his God-fearing ways and his Christianity and his principles, what's wrong with that? Now he gets cut and he's probably going to be blackballed. That goes back to the whole, even where they still have, the NBA still have not publicly apologized to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf for blackballing him for taking his stance. The NFL, I don't think they have ever really apologized to Colin Kaepernick. Like,
or to Eric Reed as well, which is
Reed,
Eric
right?
Reed.
So why do we have this platform if we can't speak? He's not promoting hate. He just has an opinion. So that's my take on it. I just feel like it's disgusting that we can't have opinions.
One of the reasons why I like sports so much is because it resembles life so much, in the sense that you win, you lose, you come back, you get from behind, you are a perennial winner, you're an eternal underdog. Like, life and sports are intertwined. And what's going on with Jaden Ivey, I think is extremely unfair. He basically expressed his sentiment of how he sees the Pride Month of the LGBTQ plus IAZ, XY, etc. Community. He fundamentally is basing his perspective about the issue on his moral convictions. The guy is a Christian, has always been. He's off the NBA right now. He got cut. Evidently nobody's going to sign him, and he's preaching. He's preaching in the streets. He's going to church. He's doing his normal things. So at the end of the day, it comes to mind the greatest football player that ever lived, Mr. Jim Brown, when he said that to athletes, society usually tells them, just play and shut up. And when it comes to paying taxes, when it comes to giving back to the communities, they don't tell athletes, don't pay taxes, don't give back to the communities. They just tell them, just shut up. And when you see guys like Jaden Ivey taking a stand and taking a stand in what he believes in, because all he said was that the month Pride, the month of June, that the NBA puts all these flags and promoting stuff, because at the end of the day, the NBA is an entertainment league. It's a business, but I don't put an NBA game or an NFL game to see anything push agendas or however you want to call it into the fans. So what Jaden Ivey said, based on his moral convictions, it's unrighteous. Like, there's no need for the NBA to push the Pride Month where there are other avenues that the NBA can use, just like they do with other outlets. Like the NBA is one of the biggest proponents in the nation of literacy. Like they like to give out books. They like to propose literacy among schools, etc. You don't see anymore. Reading is fundamental announcement.
Right, there you go. They might as well have Magic Johnson's son bobblehead night.
Exactly.
Throughout the whole NBA. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? The hell is going on? Like, that shit. No, I mean, the hell. And Jaden Ivey can't speak about that? He can't talk about that? Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, look at that.
Bro.
What's
what up, Shiesty Bum? What's going on with you? Good. Thank you for chiming in a little bit.
So that
exactly.
That's correct.
NBA does.
That is correct.
Yo.
That is true.
So going back to the point. Here's my perspective about it. So it's a 50-50 paradox that we have here. We don't want, and I say we because I include myself. And again, two things can be true at once. Like I said, the NBA have a plethora, numerous ways of supporting social justice or human rights, whatever you want to call it, causes that do not have to be in the public eye, similar to what the NFL does. So at the end of the day, Jaden Ivey also has not only a constitutional right that the Constitution, the Second Amendment gives us the right to speak our mind, but also we ask so much from these athletes: pay your taxes on time, behave well, don't be a bad example. Look at Tiger Woods, what's going on. We ask so much of them that when they try,
don't punch your wife in the face with all your strength.
Exactly. Don't drag your wife to the elevator like Ray Rice. We ask them all these questions, like we ask all these questions Like the same way that I don't want to see Jaden Ivey dribbling, going down the court with a Bible in his hands. At the same time, I don't want the NBA to put a huge flag, like pushing views that I did not tune a Mavericks Lakers game to watch. So it's a 50-50 balance, but it all comes back to what Mr. Jim Brown said, the greatest football player that ever existed. You telling me to just shut up and play, and I'm not going to shut up, because basically shutting up is basically stripping someone of their humanity.
Let's address Shiesty _ bump just really quick. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's address him or her or whoever that is.
It's a her.
It's a her. Let's address. What personal views are you speaking of? Jaden Ivey spoke in regards to that community, and it's not to try to change anyone's mind or perspective. It's an opinion that he voiced in regards to that community and the role that was being pushed into our sports league. It's not the same as religion, because if you really look at it, who preaches religion in the NBA, in sports anyway, period? Right? No one pushes religion like that. He spoke in regards to his religion and how he felt in regards to that community. And that's how a lot of people feel, and they just don't say nothing.
And this is not a black and white issue in the sense that there can be a middle ground. Like, for instance, Jaden Ivey is not saying go to church every Sunday or repent for your sins, or he's not pushing his views, nor at the same time he's not condemning. Like, if you have been following this Jaden Ivey fracas, or whatever you want to call it, that is going on, him getting cut for expressing his perspective. He's not bashing the alphabet community, but at the same time, he's not pushing his own views on religion or whatever the case may be. So basically, he has done it in a respectful manner, and at the end of the day, he shares the sentiment of millions of fans. He's sharing the sentiment of millions of fans.
Always appreciate it, though. Go ahead.
No, we appreciate
similar to when Jason Collins came out and the players were very vocal about it. They said,
and the Cowboys, right? The Cowboys guy came out too, right?
The Cowboys, yeah. So they were very vocal when they said, we don't mind having Jason Collins as our teammate. There was no issues, because Jason Collins wasn't like, he wasn't in the locker room like, hey, honey, or nothing out of sorts. The guy was normal. He was part of the crew, because Mr. Alfred Adler, the famous psychologist, said that when sexuality becomes the first thing about your personality, we have a fundamental collective problem. So we don't go around saying, I like beautiful big booty woman. At the same time, the thing that Jaden Ivey, he has a constitutional right to express his perspective. It's like, when I get on the court, or when my kid or when my family is watching the games, we don't need the NBA to pushing political or social views on issues that should be addressed in other manners by the league.
Shiesty, that's the reason why what you just said right there, that's the reason why that community is what it is. Because the people in that community who are signing the checks, they want to be comfortable enough to play the game the way they want to play it in regards to that community and that lifestyle that they have, which shouldn't be a lifestyle. It's a sexuality.
But the agency.
Right? So that's the reason why that community is what it is today. And you can't speak about it because they are signing the checks. That community, they are the ones that are signing the checks. So that's the reason why. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that we can't speak out about it. That's the point.
Like Tim Tebow, like he said, Phil Janelle. Great point about that. You know what I mean?
And Harrison Butker, the kicker from the Chiefs, last year in 2024, he almost got kicked out of the league. Also, we need to understand the historical and cultural context of this. It all started with it goes back all the way to the boxer Jack Johnson. If you're a boxing follower like Heck and myself and Ann, etc., You know that Jack Johnson in the 1910s and the 1920s was the biggest, not boxer, but the biggest athlete in the world. A black guy from the South that when he punched people, he sent them to the grave right away. So Jack Johnson was very vocal in not only on the sports spectrum, but also on things that he saw society needed to be changed. And he started with Jack Johnson.
Yeah,
Jesse Owens putting the fist up. 1968, the athletes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Mr. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, the point guard from the Denver Nuggets, never played again. The guy ended up moving to Europe because of the harassment that he confronted just because he was expressing his views. Again, Jaden Ivey did not offend anyone. He didn't refer to the alphabet community in a despective manner. All he's trying to say is that at the end of the day, Jaden Ivey is not telling me to go to church every Sunday and to repent for my sins and become a devout Christian. But he's telling, let's come here for what we came here for, to play the game of basketball, and let's put out a good product to the fans without pushing agendas or conceal issues that do not need to be brought up into a sports league. That's all he's doing, and now he's paying for it, just like Eric Reed did as well.
I think there's a fine line. I think there's a fine line that, like, if you cross it, it's over.
Right. There's no turning back.
There's a lot of things like political. To me, I've always stood on this kind of, but political and sports really don't mix. Right. We got Donald Trump out here signing orders right now, like you just said. Signing orders for what? Mind your damn business about a game.
Yeah.
Mind your business. Like,
I didn't know the president gets that deep into
about the Navy and Army game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only game that could be played within that time frame now, because you said, keep your freaking ass out that world. It's not for you. I'm tired of politics and sports kind of being brought into the light. But
the good thing about the Ivy thing is that it's not even, at the end of the day, most leagues, we all know that they are basically the performers the majority. The majority are minorities, specifically black people. The NFL, the NBA, and MLB is either Japanese people or Latinos, etc. But at the end of the day, the people that sign the checks are white. So what Jaden Ivey is doing with what's going on right now is that he's one of the rare cases where he's not being political at all. All he's trying to do with his stance, which he has a right of, is that he has a family. He gives tickets to his family. His family goes to the NBA. Do you think that Jaden Ivey's parents, cousins, and family wants to sit down in a halftime show watching a show for the alphabet people? That's all he's trying to do. He's not condemning them. He's not saying that they are bad people or nothing. He hasn't spoke ill about them, but nor he's trying to push his religious perspective on us. All he's trying to do is the same sentiment, the same perspective that millions of fans and even players have. Do not bring in all these flags and social stuff into the court when people are coming to tune into the games and pay the tickets to watch us play. That's all Jaden Ivey's doing. And what did they do? They cut him.
Mm-hmm. So that's where we are now. What's going to happen now? So he's not going to be able to play in the NBA no more. No one wants to touch him. Like,
no, he's gonna end up playing.
He's a cancer now to the sport of basketball.
He's gonna end up playing
out against that community that we should not be pushing anyway, right? We have that man. I got so much to say, man, and I know we don't have the time.
It just goes back to when somebody hopefully in the next few minutes wants to bring all the young smoke. So keep going and saying what you're saying.
That goes back to when my daughter, she was going into the first grade. And my daughter, very smart, had, she was well above average for her age in regards to what school she should be in. So she got accepted she went to take a test for this gifted school. So we go visit the school while she's taking the test. I open the door. The first thing I see, we're talking about elementary school. First thing I see is a sign on a wall in regards to that community. Why? Why? I immediately said, I don't care if she passed this or not, she's not going there. And, you know, it's like, oh, why? I'm like, because not only are you pushing that community, I don't even want my kid thinking about sex right now. Of no sort. I don't want her thinking about any lifestyle of that nature right now. Like that, this is not for her. Why are we pushing this agenda so doggone hard? And once again, that's because, like Shiesty said, they're the ones signing the checks. To where we have to continue to push it. And if you don't agree, then there's something wrong with you. Why?
Yeah, but it's a conundrum of just shut up and just play, or at the same time express your views that you have the right to do so. So Jaden Ivey, the most interesting thing about this situation is that although Ivey on his Instagram post when he had the rants, he said celebrating the pride, celebrating this and righteousness, etc. The majority of us saw already, so I don't want to be redundant on what he said. Is that he's not attacking that community per se. That's why I always say two things can be true at once. All he's asking the NBA why there's a need that for the month of June you need to bombard the commercials, you need to bombard the arenas, you need to bombard the courts with all this propaganda pushing X agenda when he never has asked the NBA to do a Christian Pride Month or a Family Pride Month. So at the end of the day, that's what Ivy said. Let's keep it neutral. Let's keep it within the sports confinement, because that's what people pay for, to watch the players play, not to watch the NBA push their views on different issues that should be addressed besides the court.
My bad. I ain't even pressed the button. I'm over here wilding. I was trying to figure out who's a joke from Unapologetic Manhood. You a joke. I'm trying to figure out who's in reference to. A lot of stuff going on in the chat. Please, appreciate you guys for showing up, commenting and liking and all of that other stuff. I know. Yes, I know. And it's not your fault. I know it is what it is. You know what I mean? But everybody, just please, you in here.
Hey, y'all. Please like this show and subscribe to the channel.
And that face is around, and it's not okay. But thanks to y'all for coming in here. Shiesty comments. Shiesty, Unapologetic Manhood is coming at your head.
Comments are on fire. This is a topic that brings a lot of fire in people, and it's something that the NBA, I don't know if they're going to address it, but what's going on with Jaden Ivey is it's just not fair. It's unjust, and it's a bad look.
That's ridiculous.
Overall. It's a bad look to the league overall.
Yo, what is that on my screen? What is that Detroit Pistons doing up there? We should possibly. I just want to know what's going on in the chat right now. These guys is going at it. Unapologetic and Shiesty bum. Jaden Ivey got religion and forgot he was a woman beater. Ooh, woo.
Okay, so, but my question to that is, those are still, that's apples and oranges, right? What happened in that man's relationship, it happened in that relationship. If he's gonna if anything, cut him off the team for that, because that's what we've been seeing. when these guys get these domestic disputes, no teams want to deal with them, right? Because it brings bad press or whatever.
Shoot the message, not the messenger. One of the greatest human beings that ever existed, Mr. Malcolm X. He used to be called Lucifer in jail, and the guy reformed himself. So just because Jaden Ivey has done mistakes in his past doesn't mean that his takes or his perspective on certain issues are not correct or are not factual.
Right.
It is
right.
asinine.
Like he can't speak up because of one situation.
It is asinine. It is asinine when we tend to hold, especially athletes. That's why Mr. Charles Barkley said it plain and simple. I'm not a role model. Parents should be role model to their kids. Why? Because Charles Barkley felt that he didn't have anything to do with be telling kids how to behave when their parents should be the one telling them. So at the end of the day, just because Jaden Ivey did mistake, whatever the case may be, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a point when he says that any sports fan in general, not only in the NBA, tunes into the games, buy the tickets. I don't buy tickets to the Jets game and do the tailgate. I don't go to the Yankee Stadium. I don't go to MSG Arena and sit next to Spike Lee to be watching a flag painting on the floor. I don't go to the golf course to hear my golf buddies talk about politics or their social or push stuff. We go there to play the game, and that's what Jaden Ivey is pushing. He wants the NBA to focus on the games and not be pushing agendas, because he's not saying give me the Christian Pride Month or the Family Pride Month. He's saying let's just keep it neutral.
Talk Shiesty.
So we're talking about the same wife. See, and that's another conversation where we have to do better. Let me pull my hat down. Let me show you the colors here. Let me show y'all the colors. Y'all know what these colors mean, right? So when you take a look at the picture of what his wife is, right? This is what happens. They look for their opportunity. They look for their opportunity to get what they're going to get from these brothers, from these athletes. And then once the opportunity presents themselves where they can distance themselves and take what they're going to take, they're out, right? That's why people don't want to get married. That's why people shun relationships anyway, because of stupid stuff like that. Stand by your man. Stand by your man. And that's not what she did. And we cannot go back into talking about him being a woman beater, because we don't know what happened in those relationships. We don't know what happened during that altercation, right? You just get the word of a woman who says that she was beat on, and then all of a sudden now he's Ike Turner. No, everybody is not going to be Ike Turner. That's not what's going to happen.
And also,
you know what I'm saying? Everybody's not beating on these women like they say they are. They're having altercations that happen a lot in marriages. You know what I'm saying?
Going back to the
stand by a man that beat you. Where's the evidence of him beating her? Or did they have an altercation? That's the difference. You know what beating is? You know what beating is? See, this is a sports show, so I really don't even want to get into that. You know what beating is? What happened to Keith Thurman last week. That's what beating is. That's what that is. That's when he got his ass beat. That's beating. Someone taking hold or grabbing you is not beating. That's it. Did she show up with a black eye? No. So let's stop just taking the word of people without evidence. And like he said earlier, just because a person makes a mistake does not mean that their opinions don't matter on other subjects, even if he spoke up against the subject of that matter. I'm pretty sure you're not the perfect individual.
We have seen numerous individuals, and the first one that comes to mind is Michael Vick, when he was suspended from the NFL and all his legal troubles, etc. And the leagues, because again, we need to see who's the one paying the checks, writing the checks, signing the checks. So at the end of the day, you have to follow the money. So a lot of these players, they will be forgiven more easily to killing somebody than to saying what they think about certain issues. When you look at a guy like Michael Vick, that did all of that, which at the end of the day, the dogfight, etc. That's a topic for another show. He came back into the league. He had a respectable career overall. He went to the Eagles, he went to the Jets, etc. He ended up having a respectable career. Now, when you look at a guy like Eric Reed, the outstanding safety for the San Francisco 49ers, as soon as he came out and said, hey, in underserved communities, black communities, we're having food deserts. People are not building supermarkets in black communities. People are not investing, etc. When he started speaking his mind on certain issues, Eric Reed played 1 year for the Carolina Panthers, and nobody has ever heard from him ever since. So at the end of the day, a lot of these players are forgiving more of doing something major, like dragging their girlfriend to an elevator, killing dogs, or doing something monstrous, than just speaking their mind, just like Jaden Ivey is doing, albeit if he has done or not anything in the past. Because again, like I brought up the example of Malcolm X. Malcolm X, one of the this is a guy that has murals in all continents, a guy that is admired worldwide. Malcolm X, the guy was called Lucifer in jail. The guy had his past. So at the end of the day, just because something happens doesn't mean that what you have to say cannot be correct. And I stand on the side of Jaden Ivey. He's not like a favorite player of mine of anything, but rather that a lot of fans, we share the sentiment, and a lot of players as well. When we go into these games, when we play sports, when you go to the basketball court, you focus on the game. You don't start talking about the price of gas or the price of milk or whatever the case may be. So Jaden Ivey is also asking the league to focus on the game and start pushing agendas that don't pertain to the league.
All right. So what we're going to do is we got a special guest in here which I said a couple weeks ago, we want to kind of add and hear how the younger generation feels about the sport of the NBA and what they're doing. So I'm gonna add this guy to the thing, and I'm gonna let y'all deal with this because I've dealt with it. and I want to hear y'all opinion. And y'all can just listen, Mr. Namir Fuchs. Welcome to the stage. Appreciate you coming on the show. How are you? How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
What are you doing, Namir?
How y'all doing, actually?
Cuzzo, what up, champ?
What up, Ant? What up?
What are you doing, Namir?
Chilling.
Yeah, this the cast of the What the Heck show. You know what I mean? You got Ant, and then you got Jackson London Boys Orthopedics. You know what I mean? We out of here. You know what I mean? What we do. So, me and him get into a few discussions about the NBA and the state that it's in, and this man has said to me that this is the golden era, and this is a good time to be alive and exist in the NBA. And I just like to get.
What is this? April Fool's Day? Wasn't April Fool's on Wednesday?
Yeah, he just missed the whole segment that shows why this is not a good time to be alive.
But man, tell us why you feel that way, Mr. Namir. What's going on with you? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. Well, the first reason, as I stated previously, man, the level of playing field is so even, and it's not even just my opinion. As I stated to you prior, ratings are up 97% in the past 2 seasons. That itself speaks for a lot. I think the even level of playing field has brought excitement to the game that I have never had excitement for, even prior when we're talking about the LeBron James 2014 Miami Heat era, even before that. Like, I didn't have this type of excitement. Like, it's very unpredictable this year as well. When you think about the Knicks, you don't know how far they can go in the East, or the Celtics, or Detroit, being the number 1 seed after they were the worst team in the league last year. It's very unpredictable, and it's bringing excitement. And the main thing I like about this year is the drama. The 4th quarter stretches where it's really close. I don't like too many blowouts. We watched a lot of blowouts in the past where it's not even a game like that. Like, we have cinematic matchups nowadays. Like, always watching the Nuggets versus the Spurs when you get the chance, or the Thunder versus the Spurs this season has been absolutely cinematic in every way possible. So I personally feel like the only reason I say it's the golden age, well, for one, the high skill that the players are playing at right now. You know, it's a very high skill. Whether y'all want to say they added extra steps, they changed rules, you know, that's y'all demographic. But from my standpoint, when I was in middle school and playing basketball, a step through already existed. You know, it's not a brand new move. You know, a gather step already existed. I done seen Kobe do a step through. You know, and I got to send Uncle Steve the link because he swore Kobe Bryant didn't do an extra step or any of this, you know. So that demographic of the young guys are changing the rules and they're allowed to travel now and do it. I think it's just BS in my opinion. But if anybody wants to counter the fact that it's an even playing field and it's not that predictable, you can't. Because I feel like when it comes to sports, that's what makes sports entertaining.
Let's counter it right now, really
quick. Let's counter
I just have
real
one
quick.
point. I just have a point. You talking about the same disparity? Look at did you just see OKC is the number 1 seed, right? The Lakers are number 3 seed. Did you just see them beat them by 40 the other day? Like
I've seen that.
So it's this league is not even. It is becoming
what way?
It is becoming better because a lot of the franchises are now building. They're building their franchises from the ground up. A lot of them, and they're not. You know, that super team era is gone. That was started by you guys GOAT for this era, Mr. LeBron James. So you don't remember an even NBA or a more competitive NBA that we've seen, where even though certain teams look like they were dominating, they can be beat. When you seen the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, there was a San Antonio Spurs team that can beat them. Right? There was a Dallas Mavericks team that was good enough to beat them. There's a Sacramento Kings team that was also if it wasn't because of, honestly, and I'm a Lakers fan, if it wasn't because of whistles, excuse the background, I live in Brooklyn. Yeah, see, it's crazy out here. But so that it's becoming a better brand of basketball, like we're seeing, because of, honestly, players like Shea and Wemby. It's getting back to that competitive nature where dudes are not friends like they was, but they still have a long way to go. The viewership is because of the international level of play. That's where the viewership is coming from. It's not coming from the U.S. Honestly, the U.S. we hate the NBA now. Just to be quite honest with you.
I mean, what are you doing, Amir?
NBA because y'all can't adjust. Y'all don't like what y'all see. Is that what the reasoning? Because I'm not understanding how you can hate the NBA at this standpoint in this era. Today's league, I'm not understanding.
There's a big difference. What are you doing, Amir? There's a big difference, and we have touched on this topic before on the show, between athleticism and competitiveness. You have players that are more athletic nowadays. For instance, when you look at the NBA clips, in your case, you know, from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, etc., players were not as athletic as they are now. However, they were more competitive. So basically, we are witnessing a washed down league at this point. Many of us that are like NBA followers since the beginning of time, that's one of the reasons why we enjoy college basketball so much, because we don't hate basketball. We hate the product that the National Basketball Association is putting on the floor. For instance, you have leagues in Puerto Rico, you have leagues in Europe. We have talked about how Real Madrid, Barcelona, all these players from Europe come so well polished, so refined into the NBA. It's because of the level of play that they have to confront there. Luka Doncic was playing professional when he was 16. Victor Wembanyama when he was 15. He comes ready to the league because of the level of play that he has to confront. As a basketball fan, I don't want to see games going 140 and 120 every night. And I beg to differ with you, Namir, when you said that the ratings are good. Yes, for this year, 2025, 2026. And just like Ant said, with the addition of guys like Cooper Flag and his hype, Wemby, Shai becoming an international brand, of course the NBA ratings are up. However, the highest rated season in the history of the game was 1998, when the Chicago Bulls beat the Utah Jazz. The lowest were 2020 and 2021. So the NBA for the past 15 years has seen declining rates, and that getting exacerbated with the bubble, which was a fiasco. It was the worst thing that could happen to the NBA, that bubble, the tournament that the Lakers infamously won. So at the end of the day, we don't hate the NBA per se. We just don't like the product that the league accustomed to giving us like 20, 25 years ago, the level of competitiveness. These guys are phenomenal. Who can argue that LeBron James is not a good basketball player now? Is he the greatest ever? In my opinion, he's not. Why? Because Michael Jordan had to face tougher competition. When you look at the teams that could not win championships in previous eras compared to now, you understand the premise of this league is watered down. So now you have hobos coming off the street, Walmart cart pushers coming into the league averaging 25 points, when back in the day, it was a feat to average 19. So at the end of the day, personally, and I speak with Heck every day about it. Like, I follow the leagues in Puerto Rico and Latin America and Europe. I watch basketball all over the place. I'm a basketball junkie. I love basketball.
What is happening here?
But I don't like the NBA. What the NBA is giving me, the product that the NBA is giving me, I don't like it. And it's not because of I'm old school or I'm old, I'm a old unk or whatever they want to call me. It's rather, that's why college basketball is so appealing to us basketball purists, because you get the real basketball, you get the real fundamentals. And you, Namir, you do have a point when you say that in 2025, 2026 seasons ratings are up 82%. In the middle of all these TikTok, YouTube clips, because we live in a generation that likes everything fast and now. So a lot of younger generation kids are not consuming as much games, but rather watching the games condensed on clips or highlights.
Right. It's a track and field 3-point contest. That's all we're watching. Like, that is basketball for what you guys know it as, but that's not basketball. Like, we was having this conversation very early in the show, where it's not even a need for coaches anymore. It's not even a need for coaches anymore. They don't even run plays. Everything is just, all right, we're gonna come down, everybody, high screen, high pick and roll, and kick it out to a 3-point shooter. They're running fast breaks and stopping to shoot threes instead of taking a layup. That's not basketball. And it's not to say that we can't adjust to what it is now, but who wants to watch that? A low percentage shot? We continuously watch low percentage shots. I don't to just because they want the high scores and that's what brings the ratings, but that's not competitive basketball.
Honestly, I have to disagree on when you say they don't run plays, because we see Bickerstaff draw up a lot of plays. It's the low-paced teams that are running plays. The Denver Nuggets, they're not as high in pace. It depends. You got some games where they do, try to get points in the transition in the fast break. But a lot of the Nuggets I watch, they draw up plays. JB Bickerstaff draws up plays. Joe Mazzulla is drawing up plays.
Only situational though.
Like I'm in what I mean when it's a close game. Not even just I done seen blowouts where they just trying new things and they're not just freestyling, they're running plays. Like even whether they're blowing a team out or it's a close game, I see a lot of things where they like to mix some things up, and I could tell that they're trying to see if something will work in the playoffs. Like when you go back and you see, let's go do a random game. When you go back to the Utah Jazz versus the Denver Nuggets in the second matchup, we seen Jokic and Valanciunas on the floor for the first time at the same time, which didn't happen, and they were trying something new. They were running up a lot of plays, and this is a regular season game that really did not matter, So I have to disagree, because a lot of games I watch, and I don't miss too many games in this 82-game season. A lot of games that I watch, they are simply still doing exactly what you said. Yes, they are shooting a lot of threes, but a lot of the threes come from transition points or fast break points, points off a turnover. I don't see them just run down the court and just chuck up a three. You see a lot of ball movement. A lot of the shot clock is being used up. So you can't really say it's iso ball, because it don't take 24 seconds to do iso ball. Like they're using up the whole shot clock, which is
because they dribble through the whole 24-second shot clock. they run the high screen and roll. They're bringing the centers up to the 3-point line, right?
Right.
That player, which I look at Shea, for instance, Luka Doncic, same thing, right? They bring the big man up. They set a screen high. They dribble for 24 seconds. Or no, we can't say 24 because you got to get the shot up, right? So they come down. It takes 8 seconds to cross half, leaving 16 seconds. Then they dribble for the next 12 to 13 seconds before a 3-pointer goes out.
At the end of the day, they say that
that's a set. That's not a play.
Players win the games, coaches lose them, and we saw that going back to the Duke game. Coach Shire, how he basically broke all the rules of fundamental basketball towards the end of that game. Now, that being said, when we look at the NBA, for instance, in the year 2000, the average shots, 3-point shots per game were 18 shots per game. In 2025, 37. So basically, in 2010, we had a 22.2% of 3-point attempts rates of shots per game. Now, in 2025, 43%. So it is kind of like contradicting to say that the NBA has not become a perimeter game when we see high-scoring games, lanes are open, the game has become less physical, and it has become a perimeter game with the likes of Steph Curry and all these guys that predicate their game on the 3-point shot. So from 2010,
who scored 50-something in a quarter the other day? Was that the Celtics?
In a quarter?
In a quarter. In the first quarter, I think they scored 50-something points, 53 points in the first quarter.
I mean, it was when Wemby, even when Wemby did the 10 points, 10 rebounds in 8 minutes, etc. It wasn't predicated on 3-pointers. So at the end of the day, when you look 2010, we're not talking about 1982. We're talking about 15 years ago, recent memory. I mean, we're talking about the Kobe era, the start of Westbrook, Steph, KD, etc. era. We are talking about that 22% of the shots in a game were from the 3-point line. Now, as of right now, 43%. So basically, you sit down to watch an NBA game, and half the shots you are going to see is from the 3-point line. It has become a perimeter game. Players, like I've said numerous times in this show, the NBA league has become washed down. It has become soft. And no wonder why the 4 candidates to win the MVP are not even American. We're talking about 4 foreigners: Wemby, Doncic, Shea, and Mr. Jokic in the Denver Nuggets. So it is time for the league to do a deep introspection, a deep analysis, because the NBA is supposed to be, the basketball game is supposed to be the most physical game. It's not football. Football has 60 minutes on the clock, but only like 18 minutes of those 60 are actually played. NBA is supposed to be, basketball rather, is supposed to be the most physical game. And we're just seeing guys looking all cute and all pretty from outside, when the 3-point shot is a tool in the basketball game, but it shouldn't be the resort on every play, because you want to see action on the paint.
I mean,
exactly, Phil, Janelle. I watched there was a day this week, and it might have been the day that they scored 53 in a quarter, right? I think it was the Celtics. So it was like Jaylen Brown had 20 in the quarter. It was wild work, right? Nobody scored under 101 points. The losers had 101. Like, that was the lowest scoring on that day, was 101 points. Nobody had 99. Nobody had 90. So where the hell is the defense?
Before I let Naimir go.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let me tell you another fact here from Mr. Facts. Listen. So from 2015 to 2020, again, we're not talking about 40 years ago. We're talking about a couple of years ago. 2015 up until the COVID bubble era. I'm talking about 2015, the year before the Warriors-Cavaliers finals, to the bubble era. The numbers of threes attempted per game jumped more than he had in the previous 25 years combined. So basically, from 2015 to 2020, we had an increase more than you have in the previous 25 years. And at the same time, the field goal percentage went down 1% per year. So we are shooting more, but we are making less 3-pointers. So nobody can tell me that the league is putting a good product out there. We have more athletic players. We have more athleticism on court. but we have less competitiveness. We have less attractive basketball for those that watch basketball everywhere and are attracted to games more like the college or the European style that is more competitive.
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
Okay, what was you gonna say?
Can I hear your standpoint on why you guys do not like the transition of, you know, looking for the midi and now it's eyeing down the 3-ball first? Because if you ask me, I think it takes a high skill to consistently, you know, see a team shoot 44%, 38%, you know, from the 3 in a night. Even on a bad night, they're still shooting at like a 36% clip, and everybody's getting the ball, you know. And the best thing that I like about it is that the ball is spread around nowadays. Like, we're not seeing, like, even though Shea will give you 40, you know, he's still got about 7-8 assists in there, you know, with probably 2 steals. You know, he's a good defensive point guard, you know, which is why I think he probably might get MVP. And this is off topic, but I feel like Kawhi Leonard should get MVP. We'll get into that later. But I just want to know why you guys don't like the 3-ball so much. Like, and their teams are going out there shooting at 44, 43, 39% for the game at the 3. Even though they shot 43s, they made 43% of them. You know, so I don't see the problem with that.
It's
I
not.
think it's entertaining.
It's not. I'll say this, and I'll let Ann go. I mean, it's not that I don't like the threes. I mean, when you look at the 12-year-old from UConn, Braylon Mullins, the middle schooler that shot that 3 the other day, of course you want to see some threes. But at the same time, when you look at a global perspective in the game of basketball, when you have the opportunity to watch games from other leagues, from other countries, you see that there's still a tendency to play the game the way that it's supposed to be played, the fundamentals. You put a lot of, you play a lot in the post, a lot in the paint, big man post up a lot. You don't see all these 7-footers. Back in the day, a center like a Luke Longley, he will take he will take 2 threes in his whole career. So it's not that we don't like the 3, it's that the game of basketball is predicated on physicality. It's predicated on competitiveness. You don't want to be you don't back in the day, to see 130 points, you had to watch the All-Star game because everybody went to have fun, have their drinks, enjoy the weekend. When it came to game night, it was 95-90. You play defense, you play sound, you block the lane, you play man-to-man, you pressure, you play physical. Nowadays, any hobo of the streets of Macaroni State Community College or Biff and Brisket A&M coming to the league and he's averaging 28 points like nothing. When back in the days, scoring 19 or 18 was an uphill battle. So it's not that I don't like the 3, and I'm talking for myself. It's rather that other places around the world, especially like you are seeing it now, the NCAA tournament, that's good, fundamental, sound basketball. The kids play hard, they pressure, they play physical, they play defense. That's all you want to see. The 3 is a tool, but the game of basketball, when the game of basketball was invented, the 3-point line wasn't there when it was invented. So
yes.
It's physicality.
I understand where you're coming from, where you want to see more physicality, but you know, throughout evolution, things are always going to change. And when I feel like,
so where did 7'5" guys change shooting 3-pointers? Like why are we having 5 out? 5 out, none in? Like why did that change? Why did the center position change? Like, you're not supposed to be, things are put in place for a reason, right? The center is there to block shots, rebound, score how he needs to if he can. In the post, is a presence down low. You have somebody to protect. That's that center, that power forward, right? That's his running mate. Then you got your guys on the outside. You know, your small forward is your utility guy. Your shooting guard is the person who's supposed to be your best player because he's the more athletic and best scorer on your team because he can score any way, anyhow. Your point guard is the person who sets up the plays, runs the plays. He's your coach on the floor. Everybody now could be a coach on the floor. Wemby should not be bringing the ball up like motherfucking Tim Hardaway, bro. Joel Embiid should not be bringing the ball up trying to cross people. This is out of hand. It's out of pocket. It's done. I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it. I don't watch basketball to the goddamn playoffs now, damn near. Once Michigan is done, once Michigan we win this championship tomorrow, I'll tune into more basketball games in the NBA. But this is trash.
I have a question.
I don't respect it at all. And what do you have to say real quick? I know you got some things to do. What do you have to say on this matter? Because you've been quiet for a moment.
Yeah, man. Because I'm trying to see. I'm trying not to be the old man. You know what I mean? That can't adjust. Like as he's saying, it's just a broken game. It's a broken game. Like you said, I can applaud the evolution of what we have in Wemby, the evolution of what we have in Joker. That still doesn't mean that. So why these? Oh man! Wow, and it goes back to what we've been talking about is the European style of basketball, the international style of basketball that we have now adapted to here. That's pretty much more of what's happening. So we had the international style where big men step out and don't play physical, and then we had Steph Curry, where everybody wants to be him and everybody cannot be him. No one plays defense anymore. If you,
I don't know.
Like honestly, there's traveling is a thing of the past. I'm watching games where these dudes is taking 4 and 5 steps. Like, that's not bad. How can you stop a player that's allowed to break the rules?
I mean, if you want to look up the rule book, they still follow the rules. You know,
they follow out of bounds.
When you read the section, read the section on what traveling is, there's I think 5 different standpoints. Such as explaining.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
When a step through is eligible. So you can't sit here and say it's traveling when these same rules, the rule book has not changed for traveling, by the way. You can go look it up. It's still the same. You know, just look in that section of traveling and you're gonna see the same thing that they were doing in the past. I keep trying to tell you, Kobe Bryant
the rule book
was using a gather step.
The rule book has not changed, but the implementation of the rules has. So when you look at a college basketball game last night, when Bradley from Arizona took those 3 steps, it was traveling right away. In the NBA, players take 5 steps. Players take 5 steps occasionally. Now, guys, let me tell you something. This is from Wednesday, April 1st. Not even a week. And I'm going to ask you a question at the end of this. 76ers 153, Wizards 131. Celtics 147, Miami 129. Knicks 130, Grizzlies 119. Kings 123, Raptors 115. Pacers 145, Bulls 126. Rockets 119, Bucks 113. Nuggets 130, Jazz 117. Are we really going to sit down here and say that they are playing defense in the NBA? How many of those games were in overtime? How many of
those games?
0. 0 games in overtime. So they are not playing defense. This is not basketball. This is exhibition games that we're witnessing in the regular season. That's why a lot of people are waiting for the playoffs to start watching the games.
I have to, throw a little niche in there real quick. When you look at those scores, are you also looking at the roster where they only have 8 active players? Such as the Chicago Bulls, who are missing Okoro and Jalen Smith and Buzelis sometimes doesn't play. Jaden Josh Giddey didn't even play that game. You're talking about teams where their roster has 8 active players going against a high-level team, which is why you see a lot of these blowouts. The Utah Jazz, half of their team is injured. Lauri Markkanen is out for the season. Nurkic is out for the season. Jaren Jackson is out for the season. Keontae George is out for the season. Isaiah Collier is out for the season. So absolutely, I'm going to expect a blowout when a team has 8 active players on a team.
But
the
the problem
only
is,
team I see that's still performing while they have 6 to 8 active players are the Warriors. And that's because they play a system. They play a system, and that's the only reason why.
but the problem is not the blowout.
You said
it's
what?
not the blowout. The problem is not the blowout per se.
But I'm explaining why they were blowouts, though. When you have the Knicks playing,
no, but that's not the blowout, though. It's the score.
The blowout is not a question at hand. If you have to win by 30 points, so be it. What we don't want to see is the Celtics and the Knicks playing in the game end up 149 to 138 when you have players like Towns and everybody active. It is counterproductive to utilize the premise that because of the roster, so basically, if we say that, then we are confirming that the product that the NBA is putting on the floor is washed down, is watered down, it's not worth it. Because if we are based on that, then you look at a team like the 2000 Portland Trailblazer, which, by the way, have a documentary coming on Netflix. We touched on that last week on the Portland, Scottie Pippen, etc. The bench on that team can be the starting 5 on any team nowadays in the NBA. So we can utilize the premise of the rosters. Because if you have to win by 30 points, so be it. That's not the problem at hand. The problem is the scoring without going to overtime. A game that is 48 minutes long shouldn't have 300 points in a game. A game should not finish 146 to 144 in 48 minutes, because that means evidently that there's no defense being played.
I don't want to say it's not defense. You also got to account for the fact of how many times that clock is stopped due to how many fouls are in the game now. You got teams averaging like 22 free throws a game in the league right now. It's something in the 20s. So
Reggie Miller averaged 18 free throws a game himself. So at the end of the way the league is predicated nowadays, if we are talking, if anything, if it was physical, we will see an increase in the free throw shooting, just like we see at the amateur college basketball level. The NBA players nowadays are afraid to go on the lane, and I'll let Ann go now. Players are afraid to go on the lane. Any hobo can come into the league and average 25 like it's nothing. And like we just said, just check the scoreboard for April 1st, April 2nd, and April 3rd. It's a joke what we are seeing on paper, and then when you watch the eye test, it's even worse.
I see a lot of teams that have a lot of physical players. When we look at the Charlotte Hornets and think about Moussa Diabate, where Uncle Steve said you don't have centers nowadays, I can name about 10 to 15 right now offhand that still play that style of basketball, such as Nehemiah Queta, Kalkbrenner, who else? Nurkic. He don't shoot as many threes. He still tries to play physical. Nurkic kind of plays like Jokic in a way. Who else? I'm trying to think. Let me think. Because I got so much running in my head right now. But it's so many players that still play physical. Mitchell Robinson has that 90s style of basketball. Mitchell Robinson can't do nothing on the offensive playing field. But the guy is showing up on ways that the stat sheet don't show, such as what players used to do back then. So you can't say, as far as when Uncle Steve said that, you got nobody's playing physical. If you ask me, the Thompson twins are playing physical. If you want me to be real, Jaylen Brown is playing physical. If you want me to be real, Scoot Henderson's playing physical. If you want me to be real, Denny Avdia is not scared of contact. If you want me to be real, even though he's an international player, you see a lot of physicality today. It's not the same physicality that y'all might like to see, but from what I'm watching, I'm seeing a lot of physicality from these certain type of players throughout the whole league.
You just said it, certain type of players, but collectively not, because if you look at the scoreboard, and again, this is just plain facts. When you look at the scoreboard from Wednesday, when you look at a game like the 76ers against the Wizards, 153, 131, you have George, 39, Barlow, 6, Bona, 13, Maxey, 28, Edgecombe, 23, Lowry, 12, Grimes, 12. everybody and their mother was scoring in that game. So at the end of the day, of course, you're going to see anomalies individually, players that are going to play physically, that are going to play defense. But we can say it will be asinine to say that yes, the NBA is playing a game predicated on defense and competitiveness, because we just went over the scoreboard of 3 days ago on Wednesday, and everybody scored more than 120.
I mean, I don't really have a problem with the high scoring. I don't think it's due to defense being bad. As I said previously, I genuinely believe when that whistle is constantly being blown at the 8-minute mark, you're slowing down the game and you're adding points. You're slowing down the game dramatically. And when these teams go on runs, they go on runs. Like they go on 26-4, 23-8. Like these runs go pretty quick, and they're shooting a lot of threes. So I don't want to say it's not because the defense is good. It's because of how much time they're actually getting in one quarter. One quarter is sitting here lasting almost 45 minutes, and it's only 12 minutes on the clock.
That's a good point, Naimir. That's a good point. But going back to the previous point, and you have very good observation and solid points. But going back to what we previously said, you have teams nowadays taking 22 free throws the whole games. You had Reggie Miller taking 18 by himself in a game for the Pacers. So at the end of the day, yes, that could be a factor. But at the same time, it's not the sole factor. Like the NBA, and there has to be a point where the younger generation and the older generation can come to a middle point and agree on that fact that there's a lack of defense. We're seeing more athletic plays. It's fun. It's fun to watch, but not to consume on a regular basis. Like I want to see 140, 130 game in the All-Star game. That's when I want to see it go up and down the court, up tempo, etc. But when it comes to December, January, February, the depths of winter, when everything is in the line, everybody trying to get to the playoffs, you want to see competitiveness. You don't want to see games get out of hand. And I'm not talking about blowouts. If a team has to win by 20, by 30, by 40, so be it. But let's keep it competitive. And you're not seeing competitive. Nobody can tell me that game of the 76ers and Wizards, 153 to 131, it was competitive. It's impossible in my eyes.
But you're talking about a Wizards who have 8 active roster players. That's my point on that. Like you're not seeing for example, you didn't see the Nuggets blow out the Spurs yesterday. The only team you really see dominating is the Thunder when they play against the Lakers, and that's happened every time this season. But that's genuinely because the Lakers, honestly, a lot of it has to do as well with the high pace that's being played today. When we look at the Miami Heat, who are second in pace in the league right now, and here's the thing, a lot of the points are coming from fast break, because if you have a high pace team and they're having a bad day, you're going to score 15 points in the span of 2 minutes. That's just how it is. A lot of these coaches want to play at a high pace because they feel like it gives an advantage, but a lot of these reasons, you got to look at the factors of why these certain games are high pace. High scoring. And a lot of it has to do with the pacing.
Yeah, but so were the Lakers in the late 80s, early 90s, the Pat Riley's team, the New York Knicks in 1994, 1995, the Orlando Magic with Brian Hill. There were a lot of fast-paced teams back in the day, and teams like the Chicago Bulls, coached by Phil Jackson with a triangle offense, with the press defense, stopped them. So utilizing the premise of fast-paced, there has always been fast-paced teams. The Sacramento Kings were a fast-paced teams. The Phoenix Suns with Amari Stoudemire, Raja Bell, Steve Nash, Boris Diaw, and all of them, Leandrinho Barbosa, were fast-paced. The Dallas Mavericks as well. So at the end of the day, you are going to see fast-paced teams, but it comes down to the opponent to stop them with a good defense. And if you look at the score, we're not even going to delve into the just before we wrap up the show, like and to let Heck go. We're not going to delve the whole season. Let's just do the last month individually. Like once the show is over, then you do your own research and see how many high-scoring games we are witnessing in the middle of a playoff run when games are supposed to be more competitive because everybody's trying to get in.
Yep, I can agree. I mean, obviously, this is why we have different perspectives on the show. But what I need all of y'all to do is
like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
Please do that. Hit that like and subscribe button. You know, we out here, like I said, every Sunday, 10 a.m. This is what we're going to do. I appreciate Mr. Nami and Fuchs coming in. Mind y'all, you call me Uncle Steve a bunch of times because that is actually my nephew. It is what it is.
Good work, Nightmare.
Appreciate you for showing love.
The young prospect.
Bringing your perspective, you know. Bringing your perspective to the show is what we do. You know, shine a light on, you know, maybe there's some things in there, you know, that we can possibly respect now, you know what I mean, due to, you know, the way that you see the game. You know, it's different, and we do need that, honestly, you know, because us old heads, we do see things different, right? Because like I said, we watched everybody. We've watched Jordan, we've watched LeBron, we are now watching the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world, the Jason Tatums, the Jokic, you know what I mean? We're watching them, but we've also seen the others in its entirety. So we have a different perspective when we say some of the things we say. And yes, we might not appreciate what's being done. And like you said, going back to the rules and things of that nature, it is a free for all. And that's just what it is. It's actual facts that you can do a lot more. You're freely with the rules. You don't even need a referee anymore. It is what it is. But what we're gonna do is we could bring this back next week. You know, we always gonna do this every week. You know what I mean? So always to come on, talk your shit for a little bit, do what you do. Like I said, this is the What the Heck Sports Show. Thank you to Yaxel, my gosh, London Borgs, orthopedist.
Yes, sir.
Like, you got me stumbling every time I got to say your shit, dog, today. But you know what it is.
That's the point.
In the building. I won the pool. Once again, I won the pool. I didn't know how I did it, but I know how I did it. They did it. They did it.
Those early picks came back to haunt us.
You already know. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, Heck. Thank you, Nightmare, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
To add to Mr. Savage, our executive producer, and to our audience, without y'all, this couldn't be possible. Keep tuning in, share the show, like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to be here every Sunday. What the Heck Sports Show. We're a moderator, Mr. Stephen Heck, and myself, and of course, Mr. Savage in the background. And thank you for joining us every Sunday at 10 a.m.
Yes, sir. As the orthopedist said. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Let's do this again, my guy, all day. Let's go. So we're gonna take y'all out of here how we normally do.
One.
God dang it. Did it stop? I don't know what the heck is.